And we're live. Amount of Who's podcast, the show with the freshest opinions and views on the world's most beautiful game. I am your host, Greg. I'm here with the homies Brian, TK, Leek. And it's our first day on YouTube. Boys, how we feeling?
Feeling good. We look good too. Well, I do. I don't know about y'all.
Feeling I got to shape up too, so I'm feeling good. Shout out my barber. But nah.
Shout out Barber. Shout out Barber. Don't even give a name though. Like just Barber.
His name Mike. He just changed shops. So I don't remember what, but I know it's 412 North 2nd. So it's right by Mama.
You a real one.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people who wouldn't get their barber's name and address because they don't want them to get more business to mess
It don't
up.
matter. I got to make appointments on an
Mess up
app
their schedule.
regardless. So it's not like I go in there and I got to wait. Like I know if I'm going in there at 12, I know I'm getting my cut at 12. So I can promote this.
This has nothing to do with the NBA.
It's cool. It's cool.
I like it though.
So first week almost done is Saturday. Got some games going on right now. But how do y'all feel? First reactions to what's been happening around the league. I know Leek's feeling real happy.
Let's just give Leek like his 3-4 minutes. Just let him go.
Ahead,
just let him go. Just let him go.
Everybody, I want y'all to know, I said it last week, I'm coming hard. I'm still a Wizards fan first and foremost. I'm still a Wizards fan first and foremost. But I am going to be riding with the Clips. Just from the standpoint of...
Do you hear this? No, stop this. This is it. No. This man just comes out and basically puts in his 2 weeks for being a Wizards fan.
I didn't put in a 2 weeks. I did not
He's
put
like,
in a 2
yo,
weeks.
you about to go on vacation for a little bit. Like, that's the type of speech you give your kid before you leave your wife. Like, it's just not working out right now. I'm going to always have love for your mom. Like, I'm always there whenever she needs me. But, like, until she gets back on track, I got this bad joint across the street that I'm working with.
I mean, you can say that in a sense.
I'm done.
You could, but like I said,
Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
don't take no shame in my game for supporting the Clips from afar because like there's so many guys
From afar? How far away are you?
It's not from afar. It's not. I'm right there. I'm behind him. But I don't care because I can't tell you how many Miami fans I saw as soon as Bron put on a jersey. I can't tell you how many people.
That doesn't make it right.
I don't care. From the moment this man Kawhi was up 23 in the game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, that's when that clicked in my mind. Like, yo, this dude might be different.
Leek got dual citizenship.
I do, and I've been vouching for this man. I've been vouching for this man for a minute now. So yes, I know my Wizards. If we win 30 games, I'm gonna be shocked. If we win 30 games, I'm going to be shocked. But if I had to have some type of horse in the race this year, yeah, I'm going with them. And they have been proving me right. They even did better than what I thought. I thought they were going to drop game 1 to the Lakers. But shout out to Doc, because for one, he outcoached the mess out of Frank Vogel in that instance. Yeah, which is, I don't know why they are even going to put Frank Vogel in this position knowing.
No other coach wanted the job.
But I don't know why they couldn't have just given this to J Kidd up front.
They didn't want to give Tyronn Lue his money either. So
yeah, it was the Lakers doing a lot of Lakers stuff, still trying to halfway, run it the bus way, and then at the same time, I feel like not try to give LeBron too much power, but still, you can tell the entire assistant staff is all made up of guys that as soon as Vogel is out of here, J Kidd's gonna move up into that role, and then they'll like everybody else who's
and they'll be worse.
I think so too. I think J Kidd is a great mind, but yeah, I still don't think that's going to be the right. I think the best coach on that bench is Lionel Hollins.
That's the debate. Him and Frank Vogel, I can send body even.
One or the other, but J Kidd, I don't think J
Kidd is not a good NBA coach.
He's
not a good NBA coach.
I'm not going to say he's not good. I think he just still has some things he needs to learn. I think he can be a very good NBA coach down the line, but
10 years from now.
So what's wrong with J Kidd?
I just think he needs
Mike Budenholzer took the exact same team to first in the Eastern Conference. Are we really? This man was out here with the Milwaukee Bucks, the team with the most athletic player in the league, longest team in the league, and literally was out there trying to run trap pick and rolls at half court. Like, that's what we're talking about right now.
I'm just asking a question. Like,
no,
what's
they
wrong
were
with
playing,
Jason, the guy who had to like spill somebody's drink so he could get an extra time out, that's the guy we're talking about right now.
That was smooth.
It was not smooth. That was not smooth.
If you're not cheating, not trying.
Oh my gosh. No, Jason Kidd's not a good NBA coach. Sorry.
I wouldn't say he's not a good one.
Yeah,
I think he's decent, but he's not gonna win you nothing.
He's better than Scott Brooks. can't be no worse than Scott Brooks.
Can't be no worse.
I
than
consider him
Scott
about the same.
Can't be no worse.
And if Scott Brooks can have 2 tenured, nice, like he's been with the Wizards for a few years now, and he's staying through this year. They've pretty much already said, even with the new GM, like they're not looking to move nobody out. So if Scott Brooks can have 2 long tenured stays, like J Kidd is gonna be allowed to have another.
I mean, he
job
had
at
the
some
Nets
point.
and he had Milwaukee.
I still think he
There's your
deserves
2.
one more. I think he deserves one more at some
Why?
point.
Because it's Jason Kidd?
A little bit, yeah. But it's not like J Kidd is an idiot. Like, if this is like...
Oh, he's a very smart
if this
basketball
is Westbrook
person.
trying to be a head coach, I'd be like, all right, bro, let's pat the brakes. But like, J Kidd...
Ouch.
Yeah, let's be real. But I think a guy like J Kidd, I think he does deserve at some point in time another shot in the league.
Russ ain't dumb. What are you saying?
Hey, Lee, you don't have to yell at them. He knows what he's doing. Russell Westbrook has one of the lowest IQs for a starting point guard in the league. His decision making is god terrible at times, and it's just only made up for the fact that he's so athletically gifted.
My point exactly.
I'm not gonna have him as my coach.
So what?
I'm gonna cut. What he's gonna?
He can be my trainer.
I think
Real life, tell us how to bounce back from ACL.
and I'm just being devil's advocate because it's fun. But I think that maybe being in a coach's position, he'll have to change the way he looks at the game because he's so athletic.
dudes aren't gonna.
That ain't it. That ain't it.
Guys
Dudes,
don't-
Maybe
guys
he
don't do that.
knows the right play, but he says I can make a better play because
Then he's an
of
idiot.
my
Then
athletic
that's all you're
ability.
saying is that he's just thinking too much about it. That
No.
that goes into your IQ.
Like, coaching is really hard. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, 2 guys who are probably 2 of the smartest guys to ever play, weren't good coaches. You telling me Russell Westbrook's going to transition
That
into
ain't it.
coaching?
You know
world?
who's gonna be a decent coach whenever they decide to? Rondo.
Yeah.
I think Rondo's gonna be a pretty decent coach.
I
You
think
don't think he's too hostile?
I think he'd be a great assistant
I
coach.
think, yeah, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people overlook. When you say coach, there's things that go into being a good head coach. There are things that goes into being a good assistant, and there are things that go into being like a good either like GM, trainer, just like every kind of
Yeah,
job.
there's definitely nuances to
And-
working in the staff.
Yeah, and I think, and honestly, any good head coach, I feel like the head coach is gonna only have as much success as his like assistants. So that's why, like, if you notice, for example, VCU a couple years back, Shaka and them went into the Final Four. As of today, pretty much all the assistants on that staff are now head coaches.
Yeah.
Mike Rhodes here at VCU, Mike Jones over at Radford, Will Wade at LSU. So same thing, kind of from a league standpoint. I think, yeah, a guy like Rondo, because he might be a little hostile, think he might be better as being an assistant because those are the guys that really keep the relationships. Like when the players are upset over about something, if they have that relationship with the head coach, they might go and talk to him about it. But more times than not, like they need that assistant to kind of be the shoulder to cry on. Mm-hmm. And if Rondo is the head coach, like I think if you're getting upset over what he's doing, like that might always kind of be like a rift in just how things are going to go. But I think him being as an assistant, especially to whoever the point guard is, I think he's always going to be able to let them know like what's required of them.
Okay. Well, I ain't hating on that.
So how everybody else feel about the Clippers? Because we already know Leek is like super excited.
I'm really high on the Clippers. I think they could become possible NBA champions. I mean, they're still beat up. The other LA team is still beat up. The Warriors are beat up. We haven't seen any of these teams at full strength. But from what I've seen, it looks like the Clippers are going to be the team to go through if we're going to make way too early predictions. But that seems real. They have a closer. Kawhi's becoming more of a playmaker, and playmaking other than scoring. Because scoring is an ability to make plays. That's the play you always want to make on the offensive side. But outside of that, I think he recorded his career high 9 assists.
Yep.
In the second game against the Warriors, he's having a phenomenal season. So far, the Clippers are looking like they're gel and they're clicking. It's gonna be tough for any team in the West trying to get them in a 7-game series.
I'm not necessarily shocked. I'll be that person. I'm not shocked. They're probably, outside of the Nuggets, the most stable team that didn't make that many changes. And then you add a top 5, top 3 player in the league in Kawhi. Some say he's the best player in the league. But I mean, you add that, it's hard to say, oh, they're not gonna get the ball rolling and they're not gonna gel or I guess show how good they are off top. I'm also a little nervous because I'm also nervous at the fact that they may be playing their best basketball too soon.
But I don't. The reason I don't think they are is because we're still waiting for perennial all-star to come back. This can't be their best basketball.
I don't have it. No. Not necessarily saying that they aren't at full strength, whatever the case may be. But if you look at the way they're going about these games, they are putting a lot of emphasis on October basketball. And if you're trying to maintain that
they
level,
really are.
If you're trying to
and what is making you say they're putting a lot of emphasis on it? Because it's only been 2 games that they, mind you, they won the first one by like 10.
Yeah, but that game was actually really close coming out. They kind of
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like they had to call that one.
So
out.
my point is, and this
one out.
that was a good one. I give you that. Like I kind of agree with Greg. Like I watched them, especially against the Warriors. And granted, the Warriors, I even said last week, like they're going to be really bad coming out the gate. But when I watch them, you can tell like they really are coming out with this idea of like we're gonna put our foot on everybody's neck and we're gonna make a statement right now, which is cool. Like
I think that's more so their identity.
But
that's cool.
Yeah.
But and you want to come out and assert yourself. That's great. But even when I watch them, I'm like, yo, they're playing really, really hard right now. Like they are going all out. They're deep. And granted, they're gonna probably fine tune things over season just like everybody else will. But even right now, like Lou Williams is shooting 52% from the field. That's a career high for him. Patrick Patterson is shooting 63% from 3.
He's playing out of they're gonna come
like they're
down.
playing out of their minds right now.
The thing is, they're not gonna hit shots at the same clip. Their stats are gonna even out because there's gonna be some days, I don't know when, it's coming soon. There's gonna be some nights they can't throw it in the ocean.
Right.
But I don't want people to think like playing hard, especially with you being a coach, Brian. Like I know you have told your kids playing hard is not like your jumper can be off, but it's not like you can be like my effort was off tonight. Like they're locking in on the things that they can control.
And I'm for that, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but we've seen teams that attempted that. 7-3-9 Warriors, and we saw them
They got that. They got that. Nah, they got that. They got that plan worked.
So
they had. They
got hurt.
They got hurt.
Yeah,
and they kind of gassed out, and they really weren't playing their best basketball.
They were up 3. If you're up 3-1 in the finals,
yeah, they were 1 kick away from a chip.
Yeah, like I don't want. Yeah, like the Warriors, they gave up something crazy, but like 9 times out of 10, their plan works in a ring because they did get. If your plan to do that and it leads you to being up 3-1 in the finals, that is a pretty good plan you got.
That's a pretty good plan, but at the same time, it wasn't successful. And so, I mean, that's the only thing I'm saying to that. What I'm seeing out of the Clippers is they're putting a lot of emphasis on these games. And granted, go ahead, put your neck on there. Let everybody know that y'all the best team in the league. And if y'all plan to scale it back at some point and say, all right, let's kind of start feeling things out, maybe trying some new things on the floor, making sure we have everything straight going up to the playoffs, cool. But if they're going at this and saying, like, we are going to play every game
like it's a playoff game.
It's a playoff game, that's dangerous.
And my thing, especially with that, is it's not so much the effort they're putting out. It's simply the fact of, Paul George is going to be coming back from injury. Kawhi is low management. Kawhi, whether you want to admit it or not, they already said, like, the injuries he's dealing with is chronic. Like, it's not just going to go away. He's going to deal with that for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly is a guy who, granted, has made his reputation on playing hard, but has also been injured a lot. So you're talking about a lot of guys who are going to be playing extremely hard. Lou Williams is 32, 33 this year. You're talking about a lot of guys playing really hard.
Lou doesn't put himself in a lot. Lou is old, Pat is old, but Lou doesn't, the way his style of play.
He gets hit a lot.
He does, but I feel like he doesn't, as of these past few years,
he does avoid. I agree.
His style of play, he's taking contact, but it's not like he's getting beat up a lot to the point.
I agree with that. My point is simply at the same time, he's 32, 33, 14th year in the league. Like, there's a lot, like I said, when you're talking about playing that hard at this stage of your career, it's just a lot of mileage on you. At some point, it hits.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be pacing themselves. Like, we know Kawhi's not going to be a 75 a game guy. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to at least get off on a good foot. And
they did that.
And I think at some point in time, like when when PG gets back into the hang of things, I think shortly, maybe within those first 5 to 10 games after PG gets comfortable, I think Kawhi will kind of take a break.
I'm going to say something a little crazy. I honestly don't know how much better Paul George makes them when I watch him.
All right, then that's crazy. That's crazy.
Explain.
Because, like I said, we all watched them these 2 games, and they looked really good. I admit they looked great. Paul George entering that offense defensively, they already look amazing. Like, what is Paul George going to add defensively to this team that they already have?
There's no way you add a 6'9" guy like that is an all defensive talent, and you say they don't get better. The same way the Warriors got better when they added Kevin.
I said how much better.
Didn't the Warriors get a lot better when they added Kevin Durant?
But that was because you were replacing him with Harrison Barnes.
Okay,
And
they're
he was
replacing
infinitely better
they're
than Harrison
replacing
So-
Shea and Danilo with Paul. So don't you think?
Well, no,
that's
you're replacing them with who
significantly
they have right now.
No,
which is-
you're still. No,
No,
you,
I'm
we
talking
talked-
about. I'm just talking about right now. After watching them these 2 games, when I look and I'm like, okay, what is Paul George going to do in this offense? Because you got to put the ball in Lou Williams' hand to make him effective.
But mind you,
Kawhi's
Lou
got to get
Williams-
his shot.
Lou Williams comes to the bench when,
But he's still going to play 30 plus
PG.
minutes.
Even if so, like Doc is gonna stagger those minutes. If you notice, Kawhi, first off, Kawhi only played
It's because they blew the Warriors out.
exactly. And if some games, if it's like that where they can get up super duper early,
So
and then
Paul George
take-
only scores when it's blowout. Like that's my
no,
thing. Like
I didn't say Paul George. I said guys like Kawhi might be able to take some minutes off. But what I'm saying is, first off, when PG goes in, Lou knows he might play a few minutes less. And the way I feel like Doc is going to play, there's going to be, I feel like, rare times they're all 3 on the floor. But I think he's always going to have 2 of those 3 guys on the floor.
okay, so like
And
I'm trying to figure out exactly, like I said, when you insert Paul George into his offense, Kawhi's his ISO guy. He's ISO bucking. He's the ISO best mid-range scorer in the league right now.
right.
Lou Williams is pick and roll genius right now. He's
And
gonna,
PG's one of those top isolation guys. And
I don't think he's one of those
He's
yet.
one of the top
He's a
scorers.
he's a
great
top scorer, but
he's
he's not-
like he averaged 28.
He averaged 28, but he doesn't do it like Kawhi. Like he's catch and shoot. He's got to come off screen.
There's nobody really in the league that does it like Kawhi. So that's not a fair statement.
My point is simply like Paul George, in order for him to really score, like in order for Paul
Are
George
you
to
just
score
trying to say is
effectively,
you don't know how
somebody
much
else is gonna
how much
come
better they're
down.
gonna get because you don't know
Yeah.
how PG's gonna fit in there?
It's a fit. It's just like if he comes in and averages 25, like Lou Williams is gonna have to drop down to 14, 13, which makes him less effective.
I wouldn't say it drops all the way down that much. What PG adds is
So then you're taking shots away from the role players like JaMychal Green, Maurice
those guys
Harkless.
are fine. They're role players. They're good. Those are the first dudes.
yeah, I
to
would
give
say
up.
those are the first people.
The
Those
same way in the
shots are gonna get
workforce
snatched.
you hear,
But-
last one hired, first to get fired. Yeah, JaMychal, Landry, Pat. Pat only had, if anything.
So it goes back to a point I made like 2-3 weeks ago. When you take shots, case in point, my perfect example is the Lakers. Lakers right now, their biggest problem, and it's still LeBron James because LeBron James still hasn't figured out. The best way to include your role players isn't to make them stand and watch. It's to actually get them involved in the offense, to actually get everybody touches. When you have Kawhi and Lou Williams who dominate the ball when they score, and then you add Paul
Lou's
George
a
into that.
playmaker because there's a reason that
Lou
Lou
is a career 3 assists a game guy.
What is he doing right now?
All he does
right
is pick.
now?
So only other person that touches the rock when he has his Montrezl Harrell. That's who they throw it to. It's pick and roll
Nah, he
Montrezl
hits
Harrell.
guys on the skip as well too. If their shooters spotting up, like there's a reason.
Once
as a
again, it's
team
a lot
they
of
shot it
standing
well.
and watching is my point. So when you take that and you add a third guy in who needs the ball in his hands, you now have
You
all
can
your
run
role
PG
players
off- you
standing
can
and
run-
watching.
Nah, you can run PG off a lot of like off ball action.
I don't want us to get too caught
Yeah.
up into what, in terms of what they'll do, because we're gonna find out. Paul is supposed to be back. What versus Houston in December?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
it
3
was-
weeks.
And
I think
yeah,
it's
as
Yeah,
of-
give or take.
like right after the game against the Lakers, they're saying PG's probably gonna be back in 3 weeks. So I was looking at it. Exactly 3 weeks from when they play the Lakers is a Wednesday night game against the Rockets.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll see in terms of how they go about working him into their offense. I'm not necessarily concerned about their offense. I think they're doing everything that ideal team would do. You give the guys the ball where they best and most effective, and you just let whatever happens happen. And credit to Doc. Sometimes it's not that hard. Sometimes it's not. You don't have to go out of your way and create something crazy. You just got to do what's best for everybody, and that's just the simple thing. So shout out to Doc. Shout out to the Clips. Balling, all of them. That defense was crazy, and Pat Bev has been talking. He's been talking.
cash.
He's been talking wild. Like, so after the Wizards game,
Warriors.
guy.
Yeah.
my bad. I'll think about your other team.
He don't claim them no
You
more.
don't claim them no more. So after the Warriors game, He was yelling off into the stands, yelling at the Chase Center fans and talking about, say, hey, where y'all going? Y'all leaving early. And then on his way out into the locker room, he said, y'all cheated long enough. He says, back to reality. Y'all had a good run. How do y'all feel about Pat Bev's comments? He also went and said some other stuff too. But how do y'all feel about those comments?
I mean, it's Pat Bev. I'm not gonna read too much into it, but it was weak. Cheated? Nobody cheated. Nobody broke any rules. KD went to go hoop where he wanted to hoop, and y'all was losing. You're just glad that you're not getting spanked anymore.
Pretty much.
So does anyone take into account that he decided to add 2 All-Stars or All-NBA players, and no one's like, how do you feel
No, that's
about
what I'm saying.
yourself
I'm
now?
like, yo, you're puffing your chest out after you just added the Finals MVP. Shut up. Like, no, it's just not that big of a deal.
Tamon, you and I were talking about this yesterday. Lou's been the type of guy, like, he didn't just start.
Pat Bev.
Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah, Pat. Pat didn't just start talking like now. Like, remember, this is the guy that was giving it his all trying to guard Kevin Durant a couple months ago in May. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think what he was just saying, and we all talked about it. If you go back to July, I would think he did that July 4th, 2016. Like, when KD joined it, we were all like, come on. And it's not from the standpoint of, like, they didn't cheat. They didn't break any rules. But from a competitive standpoint, from a hooper standpoint, we knew, like.
So we just discount the first 2 years they won 67 and 73.
But Pat was referring to. He was saying what?
He
when they
was
KD.
referring to the KD stint.
He was referring, I think, to the KD stint.
Okay.
Not the the first 2 years they went to the finals.
Like, the issue this is always the issue I have with people that are always like, oh, Golden State when it got KD because such and such, such and such. Like, even if they didn't get KD, that means they just would have kept the team the same that just won 73 games and ran it back. So they would have won 60 plus the next year, probably would have conserved their energy a lot more and made another good playoff run. Would they won a championship? What if, whatever, who cares? Like, but they would have been a really good team in the NBA for the next 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So, like, what are we talking about? Yes, we get it. KD made them overpowered.
it was, and I think
I just don't like competitors talking about another team is cheating because you have to play a tougher team. That's the weak part. It's like, if y'all mobbed up and I have to play y'all, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's unfair because they have a really good team.
And, like,
because they have an all-historic team. Now it's cheating. Like, what? Nobody was on steroids. Nobody did anything.
Was it cheating when the Bulls added Dennis Rodman? I mean, that's what great teams do. You add great players to keep your run going. Patrick Beverly?
Pat was just on the other side of the fence. That's all it was. He was just losing to them every year.
And now he's walking in with Kawhi and eventually Paul George. And
so now he feels like he could puck out his chest and talk his talk. That's whack. That's so whack.
Now, I'll give Pat Bev his props because I agree with you. He talks no matter what.
he talks it.
He's going to talk.
Regardless.
He's very much, as Greg said earlier, he's their Draymond Green. He's there. He's going to be their emotional leader. He's going to light a fire under everybody. He's going to talk the most trash. He's going to do the dirty work. Like, that's his job on that team. So I applaud him for it. This is what's got him in the league. But
Kept them too.
Exactly. That's
Definitely.
he can't. There's certain
he earned that.
the same way Draymond can't be him if he doesn't have those antics along with him. Like, Pat is not him if he's not
Fact.
that.
True.
So, like I said, the cheating comment is just like,
It was just that one comment. You could have talked your trash, but like cheating.
Like, I actually got a kick out of him, like telling the Warriors fans, like, where y'all going?
Yeah,
Like,
That was
funny.
hilarious. That was hilarious.
That was funny.
And one thing that a lot of people were worried about in terms of the Warriors' move was those Chase Center fans because
They're
ain't
not
Oracle.
the same. Yeah, that's not the same fan base.
Like, Oracle got a completely different energy vibe as opposed to what was taking place down at the Chase Center in San Francisco.
These are all the fans that are spoiled. these are all the fans that really probably started watching the Warriors when KD came.
Yeah. These are all the Leek Kawhi Warrior fans.
But I mean, and it's kind of just a thing in life. What goes around comes around. You know, the Warriors, they've been beating up on people for the past 5 years, so it's kind of
And I felt
teams are gonna catch them lacking now.
And I felt like when that game tipped off, I said, man, they're gonna try and
They were going to dog.
they're gonna try and put them in the dirt, and they pretty much did. And just off the simple fact of what they've been dealing with from the Warriors for so long, because like I said, we look back about
They've been
not that long ago. The Clippers and the Warriors been going at it, and
Yeah.
time again,
before KD, after KD.
right.
Didn't
The Warriors
matter.
were just smacking them.
Exactly.
Just
Steph
smacking
was
them.
eating
Working
Chris
them.
Paul alive some games, and I
It
was
was
like,
the LA Stephs for a while.
really. So
So
yeah, I'm not really a fan of his comments in terms of they cheated. I do like his energy. I do like the way he talks. I do like the way he competes every night.
Yeah, it's just that one comment that
There's only
irritated
one
me.
time I really hated Pat Bev, and that's when he hurt Russ. And I was like, bro, you really suck.
Yeah, that was.
That was so shady. Wasn't a fan of that. But that's that on that.
are the Warriors in that much trouble, or is it just overreaction?
Nah, they're in
It's
trouble.
overreaction.
The Warriors
I'm
are
going
in trouble. If
It's
guys don't come back healthy,
overreaction.
they are in trouble.
All right, so we got two sides. We got two sides. Overreaction. TK, tell me why it's an overreaction, man.
That was their first game of the season. And then they were playing the Clippers, who just battled out for the Battle of LA like 2 nights before that. So they're already a little bit more warmed up, had a game on them.
Right.
Like everybody on that mob is hurt, and like that's down to like the role players. It's not like they're just missing one key piece in Klay Thompson. They're missing their only respectable big, a lot of their wing spaces. That was game 1 of the NBA season.
So what makes them a problem then, Leek? What makes this something real?
I think they're gonna suffer for what they were hiding these last few years, and that was when they brought in KD, they let go of Harrison. And then while some of these role players that they had were getting older, Sean, he's called it quits now. At one point in time, they had Leandro Barbosa, they had Mo Spates. They had a solid bench. I think like 2016 when they were 73-9, like not only was it a great starting 5, but they had guys coming off the bench that could help.
Right.
But once they got KD, just from a money standpoint, you had to pretty much keep a lot of cheap pieces around. I always thought Quinn Cook was one of the more like overrated backup point guards. I was never that high on McKinney. Like I just felt like they started to really get guys that were just super duper cheap and they wouldn't lose in a blowout game. And now that Kevin Durant is gone, now that Klay is hurt, they're going to be required to ask some of these guys to contribute in a certain manner, which they're not capable of doing. I think it's going to just be, for one, they're not the same team defensively, and they honestly don't have the firepower to even try to outscore teams if they wanted to. Now, if Klay was here, completely different story. I think we're talking about them like Taman has them sneaking into the finals if Klay is in the picture.
Right.
But it's not looking like he is. It's looking like at the earliest, that would be March. And even if so, how healthy would he be come playoff time? So I think this is a problem. I'm truly a believer in saying, that 5-year run they had, the dynasty is now over. Like, to me, like, once.
So is the championship door closed on them? Because we also heard comments come from like Charles Barkley and some other people like Jay Williams. So like essentially this is pretty much over.
I think
they're
the
done.
championship, yeah, and the reason I say so is you never know when somebody's last moment is. Like,
I mean, that's true. We all thought that Kobe had a chance to get another 6. Like, right now we're talking as if Bron has a chance to get his 4th, but who knows? This might be the closest he ever gets and never gets it.
Yeah.
I understand on that, but I don't think, like, the names you just mentioned, I'm sorry, just a bunch of losers hating on the people who were winning rings for the last 5 years. Like, that's all it is. And, like, is the championship door closed on them? No. When Klay comes back healthy, they're still going to be one of the premier teams and markets and organizations in the league that's going to attract many free agents.
Yeah.
Everybody still wants to play with Steph. Steph is, 31, 32 now? 31. Still in his prime. The way he hoops, come on. He can go for another 5 years, not at the same level, but still at a star-powered level of being that point guard, being at that point guard position. They're gonna be fine. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 4 years they get another chip.
Then I think the door is closed just because of their bench.
But that's what I'm saying. That
So-
can get revamped and that can get reworked. People still want to come and play with the Golden State Warriors.
I don't know about that. And you know what? I'll let you get in because you didn't talk for a minute. Go ahead.
I'm gonna sound a little crazy. Granted, they looked really bad. I was actually slightly encouraged by the Warriors, in all honesty. Their young guys played extremely hard. They didn't look scared at the moment. They just didn't look ready. But they didn't look scared. Jordan Poole came out and shot every shot
Poole's
he could.
good.
Eric Pascal came in and looked really good.
Yeah.
Like Jacob Evans looked good at moments. Glenn Robinson, granted he got cooked by Kawhi, but everybody in the league is going to get cooked by Kawhi at this point. I mean, all their young guys that I think they're really counting on look decent. They just are hurt right now. Willie Cauley-Stein hurt. Clay, Alec Burke, even the rookie they got this year. I don't know. I think it's his second year. Allen, what is it? I always say it, mess up his name. He's a European dude. Alan Smeligic or something.
I know what you're talking about.
But like he's another 6'10", 6'9", 6'10" guy they can throw out there in the front line. He's hurt. Kevon Looney only played the first quarter. It is what it is. And we're talking about, if you want to go with you talking about league, we're talking about the best team in the league that had a chip on their shoulder because they were still pissed off that the Warriors have been dominating them for the last 5 years. So
they're
they
about to
came
run
out.
into a lot of teams that are pissed.
So my point is though, not every team is the Clippers.
Yeah.
No.
Like, not every team has Pat Beverly, Landry Shamet, Kawhi Leonard, Jerome Robinson that can throw on Steph and be like, hey, guard him full court. Not every team has that weapon. And then have another guy that can also guard D'Angelo Russell. Like, there just aren't teams that can do that in the league. So, granted. And even when I watch their offense, they still got shots. They just didn't make them. Like, the first 4 possessions of the game, it was a wide open 3 for Glenn Robinson, wide open 3 for D'Angelo Russell, wide open 3 for Steph Curry. They just missed all of them. It wasn't like the Clippers defense. It was great, but they got shots that they wanted. The Clippers just didn't miss, and the Warriors did.
I'm gonna check again. I believe Steph did have like 8.
He had 8 turnovers.
Yeah.
I'll count 5 of them up to him just being Steph Curry. He was just trying to do something fancy, and like it was like one pass he threw. He did like a double behind the back. He threw it to Eric Pascal, and Eric just dropped it. Like, once again, this team is so young.
Yeah.
They're gonna have nights where literally they just aren't ready. And that was the perfect example. It was the perfect veteran championship team versus a bunch of young guys and Steph Curry and Draymond.
Yeah, moments like this, they miss people like Iggy.
Exactly. So,
And they're really saying, I'm actually hearing that Iggy's probably going to sign with the Lakers whenever he gets bought out.
that's the rumor.
That's the rumor so far.
Kills my bold prediction. I was really hype on it.
And that, honestly, I don't know where he fits
With the Lakers,
with
right?
the Lakers. I don't know where he fits because he's not a premier 3-point shooter.
Nah.
He's a lock. He still can guard pretty much.
But he's only
One
going to play
through
12,
three.
15
Yeah, I was about to
minutes.
say, you can give him 10 to 15 minutes and he's still going to be Iggy for a bit of that, but don't expect much more.
I mean, I guess if you kill KCP's minutes, you're doing better.
Let's just, I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, kill his minutes. Let's just kill his
I
minutes.
think Tamam was about to say, let's kill KCP. let's just murder him.
Let's just get him out of there.
Oh man. So I guess to close out in Golden State, I don't necessarily think that the window is closed for them, just because I am encouraged by the young guys, like Brian said, but also if we come back maybe 3 years and they've learned from the Clays and the Stephs and the Draymonds, and they got their game kind of refined in terms of settling into their role, Eric Pascal's going to be there for a long time. Poole's going to be there for a long time. After hearing Clay at the halftime show, it sounds like D-Lo is going to be there for a while. Like, they don't want to get rid of him
I
either.
told y'all.
Like, if they
don't
walked
want
in
to.
with this exact same squad next year, I would pick them as a top 3 seed.
I was going to say top 4, yeah.
Like,
they're going to
Clay's going to be back
They're gonna
healthy.
be-
Everybody else has
they're
a
gonna be-
year under their
and
belt.
I'm a huge fan of Cauley-Stein. Like, I really think he
I
is
told
something
everybody he's like a
special.
less goofy JaVale McGee.
Yeah.
Like early in his career, they have that long athleticism about them. No, he's going to be really, really good.
So I'm not necessarily saying I'm encouraged by that game because there were moments where I was like, yo, D-Lo is taking some bad.
It's going
He
to
had
be
to,
growing
though.
pains.
Like,
Yeah.
it was like he
bad
had to,
shots.
though.
But outside of that, outside of like the little things, the nuance in terms of Steph throwing the ball away, there was a lot of cross-court pass. I'm like, why are you making that? Like all these long hands, active hands.
I think part of that
like,
was just frustration. It's just like you realize you're overmatched, so you start trying to do things that you just try this now. Like, I don't know what else to do. I'm being hounded by Pat and Kawhi at the same time. Like, I just got to get this up. Like,
I guess so.
And that's what I was saying before the pod. Now is we're going to see this can be the year where Steve Kerr can have his best coaching job season. Like, yes, like you said, they're going to go into some games where they're overmatched. They're going to go into some games where it's just like, we'll just throw anything up just because we got to try something. Right now, as a coach, is where he needs to be able to pinpoint, like, what specifically works for us on the offensive end. Because we're undermanned on defense, we need to find some type of way to guard.
Yeah.
You know, what is our best chance, you know, of being competitive, coming up with that type of game plan and putting it on the floor. Like, I think Golden State will be the type of team that's going to be better towards the end of the year because I gave them credit for last year in the finals. Right after that game 5 when KD had went down, it looked like they were starting to get used to like, all right, KD's not coming back.
Yeah.
So I gave them credit because it looked like they were adjusting. I think this team will as well. But like I said, right now, it's the players are gonna give you what they're gonna give you. Steph is still gonna have an All NBA caliber year.
Of course.
D'Angelo's still gonna have a solid year. I think the players are gonna pretty much give you what they're gonna give you right now. It's how much is Steve Kerr, like the great coaches can pull things out of a player that you didn't think they could give you.
I mean,
give you that.
like, and that goes back to my point earlier. It's just like Steve Kerr, I think he did what he was supposed to do in that game. Like the first 4 possessions of the game, they got 4 wide open shots.
Yeah.
They just didn't hit. Like sometimes that's just the game. I don't know how many times in AAU I've drawn up the perfect play.
Right.
Dude comes off the screen wide open, brick. That ain't coaching. That's he just didn't make the shot.
Yeah.
And Patrick Patterson went 6 of 9. All right. We lost tonight, y'all.
And I was smooth after I said that Pat really won't really like that.
He gotta keep it up. I don't believe it.
But yo,
Yeah,
I looked at that. I was like,
yeah, I'm riding this.
fam.
I'm riding this wave right now. Pat Patterson making shots. I'm
6
riding
and
the
9.
wave.
I was like,
yo,
whoa.
this is out of control.
Whoa.
Man. I've never seen him.
Him and
shoot
Jermichael Green was
this
like
before.
11 or 13.
It wasn't touching anything either. I
yo.
was like, this dude isn't real. Like, get him out of here, man.
Whew.
But I don't know. They got 81 games left. So
Let's get it.
Golden State still got 81 games left. They're tied for 10th. If that means anything.
A lot of time left.
So it is what it is. We'll see what's next with them. Talking about a GOAT. Michael Jordan, the GOAT. And he's hurting my heart right now because let's be real. I have a hard time listening to him talk. So I just watch old clips of him play and be like, that makes up for everything.
Wow.
and,
Wow.
And he said some wild stuff saying that Steph Curry is not in the Hall of Fame
Idiotic.
yet.
Idiotic.
And we can use the technical sense.
Yes,
in
he
terms
hasn't been
of-
inducted
He
yet.
hasn't been inducted to the Hall of Fame yet, but I don't think
And I
that's
think-
what he
nah,
meant.
I think
I
it's-
don't think that's what he meant.
It was both. That's the funny part. He used the technicality to hide the shade.
Really? Really?
That's what he did.
And Jordan's that type of dude.
Exactly.
Jordan
He
doesn't
is.
give
He
out
makes me-
free
he's
shoes at his
petty.
own camp. Like, he doesn't give anything anybody.
Totally
But
forgot about that.
I also saw though. I think it was part of it was him using the technicality of shade. But I also saw Magic Johnson say on Twitter like,
He doesn't want to get a fine.
Yeah. They both being funny about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that Magic Johnson thing was more sarcasm. I think the Michael Jordan statement was literally him just trying to be shady and petty.
I also.
But
think
realistically, we can go up
he-
on that Hall of Fame list, and I guarantee you Steph Curry is way better if he stopped right now, has a better resume than like 98% of that.
Oh,
joint.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a top 25 player all time, probably.
Yeah.
Minimum.
That's
That's
if he
minimum.
That's
stop
minimum.
now.
That's
That's if he
minimum.
stops
That's
now.
if you don't want to argue
I mean, I
with
probably would
anybody.
put him higher, but that's
Yeah,
minimum.
if you don't want to argue with anybody, put him top 25. Nobody can discuss that. But
Like,
nah, that statement was truly.
it was shade.
it was as bad as his GM decisions.
Wow.
That's how bad that statement was.
Bad. That's really bad.
Yeah, that's Michael Kidd Gilchrist bad.
And don't nobody.
I don't fault him for that pick.
That's Morrison
everybody
bad.
said you
That's
take
okay,
Kidd
that's
too.
Morrison
I can't
bad.
fault him for that.
That's
What
Morrison
else
bad.
was in that draft, man?
I gotta go.
Yeah,
I think-
that-
What else was in that
Did Vic
draft?
go through
I
that
might not
draft?
hate him for that.
Vic went the year after.
The year after?
What year was that,
That was
2015?
2012.
That was
That was
AD's draft,
2012?
right?
Golly,
Yeah, that was
man.
AD's
I'm
draft.
Long
getting-
time ago.
Nah, yeah,
I'ma
Vic,
look it
yeah,
up.
he
I got
actually
you.
could have went with Vic. Yeah.
But once again, I never fault the GM for taking a player that everybody says.
All right,
you
what's
should
what's
take.
up with Morrison?
Which one?
Adam.
That one I can't defend.
Yeah, all right.
To that
Nah,
one.
like Jordan has
I got
had
no
too
defense to
many
that one.
studs. Like, yeah, like
I got
he
no
picked,
defense to
mind you,
that
like Michael Kidd Gilchrist. Yeah, at the time he was a 6'7" crazy athlete.
Bradley
great-
Beal
great
went
defender.
third.
Brad Bill went third in that draft. Come on,
Yeah.
dog.
Dame Lillard went sixth. Come on,
Ah,
dog.
I didn't
Now
know.
once again,
And you're sitting here, the man who drafted MKG number 2, and you're sitting here letting him evaluate Hall of Fame talent. Really?
You
the funny
couldn't
thing
evaluate Hall of Fame talent when they trying to get drafted.
Exactly.
And here's the funny thing about that.
His job is to evaluate Hall of Fame
Yeah.
talent, and he can't even do
technically
it.
he's not the GM, guys. He's the owner.
Bro, if
He's
Michael
an
Jordan
idiot.
goes into the draft room and says this, I'm pretty sure Jordan gives the last yes or no.
Well, they've said he
draft
stepped
day.
back from being part of the GM decisions now.
I wonder why.
supposedly.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Supposedly. Why
He
am I
probably-
trying to defend Michael Jordan? This was an idiotic statement.
was
I don't know
stupid,
what he
bro.
was doing. Like I said, it was just shade. This is something we've seen a lot from old school players, though. Like, old school players don't like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Just
He
simple fact.
revolutionized the game.
He just does it differently.
I think he's just playing the way a lot of the guys in the 80s and 90s wanted to play that they wish they could have.
You know, you might, and I felt like that for a minute.
Jealousy?
that's what
I
it
think
is.
it's
I
just,
do.
I think that's why it's also the fact they look at these guys, like I said, they see the money they make now. It's
I think they're
jealousy.
hating.
Yeah,
It's
they're
jealousy
envious.
in a lot of
They're
it.
really envious.
It's envy and it's jealousy in a lot of it. And like I said, I think they also look at Steph and they say, oh, well, you know, Steph couldn't have played in our era because it was so physical. Whatever.
When you pulling off a trade 5, like it's nothing. 35 feet, he doesn't have to get touched. He doesn't have to get touched at 35
I mean,
feet.
I just always think that's a dumb basketball argument
They
because
couldn't play in this era.
real talk, we got 2 coaches over here, 2 guys that play ball seriously. What's the first thing your coach tells you when you play defense? Even when you were younger, what was the first thing he said?
Slide your feet, move
Yeah,
your feet,
move
keep
your
your
Move
hands
your
off
feet
them.
and keep your hands off. That's the first thing you learn in basketball. It was like that back then. And then you got to the NBA and it was hand check
Hand
city.
checking.
Yeah.
So the rules shouldn't change depending on the way we play defense in the NBA now. It's technically how it's supposed to be played.
And I hate when guys say that, like, the league was more physical. Yeah, okay. You could punch a dude back in the day and not get a flagrant. But, like, dudes are not walking to their spot at all today in the league.
Not at
and I
all.
feel like people get it really, really twisted, like dudes are walking to their spot.
But the game is just more nuanced now. The help defense is
It's
way better. Rotations
I mean,
are way
help
better.
defense wasn't allowed back then.
Exactly.
You can put somebody on an island and let them fry. Like you could take one of these guys who were great isolation players and put them in that
Kawhi and
situation.
Kobe would have went
Not even-
bonkers back then.
Bro, like not even top notch people like that.
KD would
I could
average
say
50.
minimum somebody like that, but Monte Ellis would be somebody who will fry in an ISO situation
put
when
a
you
ta-
can't bring help.
You put a talented kid like D Book just
In that
on
situation, bro.
one side. Because, like, yeah,
and
like,
let him go 1-on-1 the whole time. He's breaking all the scoring records except Jordan's. He's number 2 behind Jordan in 10 years.
Well, what about Will Chamberlain?
And that I said in that 10-year span.
Oh, my fault,
yeah,
my fault.
you had to let me get
bad,
that
my
one
bad,
in
my
there.
bad.
it blows me when guys say that. Yeah, they talk about the hand check, but yeah, you compare back then and now. Like back then, yeah, you could hand check, but for one, if you're an elite scorer,
A hand check's
elite
not
ball
gonna
handler,
stop you.
A hand is not gonna stop
You
you.
knock that
from
joint
getting-
down and you keep going.
Along with that, boom. All right, you can hand check, but there is no help side. So in the event you beat that first defender,
You're scoring.
It's
You're
pretty much a
scoring.
home.
You're
You're pretty much walking to the basket at that point. In today's day, all right, it's still physical. There's zone defense. You can
doubles.
play in help side. You can catch it, and there can be 2 guys within 10 to 12 feet waiting for you on that first dribble.
Facts.
So like, I feel like it's just a lot of old guys just really upset that they weren't in the league right now.
Like, it honestly feels like a lot of these old guys, the argument is simply, well, we were better because we could hit you.
Pretty much.
Like, we could throw you, push you, and hit you. That is not a basketball skill.
Yeah, it's not.
What I
It's literally, I'm just physically stronger
and that's
than
the
you.
point I'm about to make. I think it's envy and jealousy because I think the top-notch hoopers nowadays are more skilled and talented than they were. back. And mind you, the game is supposed to evolve that way. Like
And
I want
I
my
don't-
kids to be better than me. That's how it always evolves. But I think they're looking at it like as a basketball player, I didn't have as much skill as this new generation. So what
fact.
could I do?
I don't even know if that's I'm not gonna say that's the full scope of it, them being less skilled. I would say it goes back, it's kind of twofold. Essentially, it's the idea of saying, almost like you saying, when if you're not cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
So if everyone else is hand checking and they're taking that advantage, then I guess I'll do it too.
Yeah, understandable.
As opposed
Understandable.
to, and therefore you're taking away from the actual skill that I may have, but I can't show it because
you're gonna hand check.
you're
'cause it's
hand
the
checking.
easiest
So
thing,
I'm gonna do
yeah.
it too. And so the whole quality of the game
That's true.
follows suit to that, as opposed to them actually showing the skill that they had. Who knows? We like going back to say they could have been able to shoot from 30 feet, but the fact that I'm holding your jersey and I'm able to push you and ride you all around the court doesn't allow me to shoot from 30 because you starting from 90 feet out, pushing me all the way up to half. So I can't even initiate an offense with. It's kind of, so I kind of look at it that way as opposed to saying it's just them not being as skilled. Because if everyone's doing it, I might as well do it too.
That's true.
That's a
Like I
good
said,
point.
I don't fault guys who play in there. Like I said, if you play in there, like I said, I always say great players in every era transfer. Like I said, I honestly believe if Steph Curry grew up in the hand check era, he would have been fine because he would have adjusted to it accordingly. That's just the way the game works, though. You can't fault guys now because this is what they do. This is how they play now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be mad at Steph Curry. And the other part is Steph just makes the game look really easy sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a dude just walks up the court and shoots from 35 feet, and you had to work extra. Think about how they played in the 90s, where we all just said, like, it was put the ball on the wing, watch one guy dribble for 15 seconds, try to run through somebody, get to the rim. Like, Steph Curry doesn't do that. Rarely.
Nah.
It's come up the court, pick and roll, pull up from 30. Or run off a down pick, run off a pin down, catch and shoot, boom.
No, and people underestimate how often Steph Curry actually gets hit while playing these games.
Oh, he gets murdered.
He goes to the cup and extremely well, extremely often too. Gets his shot off against these bigs. There's contact there, and I swear, if you look at like 90% of his jump shots, he has zero space to land. They're all up under him.
I mean, you look at him off the ball, he gets held.
Yeah.
Off the jerseys,
Like, I always say, he's probably the most disrespected superstar in the league because he does not get help from the referees
at all. At all. He gets touched up. So it's not like he's playing in an era when he doesn't feel any presence. There's a hand on him every possible chance. There can be a hand on him.
Yeah.
He'll be fine in whatever era. Jordan is, oh my gosh, that was just the worst.
Now, Jordan's top 5 or his starting 5 wasn't that bad, though.
That was a decent take. That was a decent
That
take.
wasn't bad.
I can get 5 today.
And
I love Jordan.
Whoa.
I can give him
I
five.
can get 5
I can give him
today.
five.
So Jordan's 5. Jordan's 5
Yeah.
Go
was
ahead.
Magic Johnson, the point, who is my favorite player of all time.
Right.
Michael Jordan.
Yep.
My favorite player of all time.
Scottie Pippen.
Yep.
James Worthy at the 4. And then Akeem.
So,
That's really
The
good.
only
I got a 5 that
I got a 5 that
I got a 5 that I can rock
that
with.
could hold
I
it down.
want to hear it.
Because
got a
my
5 that
5,
goes down.
That's just so
My 5
easily.
might be the same, low key.
I doubt it.
All right, I'm listening.
But my 5, I'm going to go Steph Curry at the 1,
Okay.
Kobe at the 2, Bron at the 3, and then I'm going to go KD at the 4, and then have a dominant presence with like Shaq at the 5.
That's a good matchup. Those are even matchups, but you can't even say that just walks away
I didn't
from.
say that. I just said I got a 5.
You got a
That's all I
5 that
said.
can
I got a
match
5.
up,
As
but
much as I want him to play,
And Steph is the only iffy one for me. Because I thought about going somebody else, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to put the guy who could
That's
shoot from
actually
trade 5 out
because
there.
Magic can't guard Steph.
He
and
can.
Steph can't
guard
guard
Yeah.
Magic.
That's tough.
That's going to be really tough. And I'm gonna give the person who can go and shoot from 35 feet willingly that edge where we stretch the floor like that. It's
Jordan
going to be a
beat-
dynamic thing. I ain't saying it's winning, but that's a 5.
Kobe and Jordan kind of cancel.
You got LeBron.
Nah,
Bron's
Jordan wins that matchup.
Jordan-
LeBron,
But not by that much. Not
Nah,
by
yeah,
that
he
much.
be-
bro.
I
We're
love
not gonna
Kobe.
sit
By
here.
hairs,
Yeah.
man.
it's by hairs. Kobe's
hairs.
not
Kobe
getting.
would try so hard.
In
a
I think the
5
difference
game
is
matchup, bro. Both of them. And we're
Are
taking
we talking
everybody
in
at
a
their
series
primes.
or one game?
Are we talking the series?
Yeah, I
In a
guess.
series, Jordan
Yeah, bro.
wins
Jordan
that.
didn't lose a series
Like,
with Scotty. So like,
Jordan
I'm not
wins
saying-
that matchup
I'm not-
hands down.
I'm
I
not
don't think it's
saying-
going to be that big of a gap.
I'm
I
not
think
saying.
it will be.
I don't think it's
In
gonna
one
rock
game,
with that.
I could rock with Kobe because Kobe will come out for one game and just go bananas. He'll go toe to toe. But over a 7-game series, Jordan is just that much better than Kobe. It's just reality. I love Kobe. He's my
I don't
second favorite
think,
player
and
of
what
all
I'm trying to
time.
say is,
I'm not
I don't
saying
think in
that
a
Jordan
5
doesn't
game,
win.
I mean a 5-on-5 in a 7-game series, it's not going to be that blatant of a difference where it's like that matchup made or lost the series. If you can say Jordan is going to out-hoop Kobe, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you.
because when you have essentially LeBron on the floor, KD on the floor,
Steph is still out there, and Shaq is defending the paint.
You have Shaq's defending the paint. It kind of says, all right, the mismatches aren't as big or wide the gap as it would be if it was Michael Jordan versus Byron.
Because what I'm going to really say is, I'm going to say KD's going to fry James.
I can go with
that's
that.
not. KD's gonna get his, but
a
don't
7-game
sleep on.
series?
Don't sleep on
I'm not
James
sleeping
Worthy.
on him,
Big
but
game-
he's not
big
going to
game
be
James,
KD.
baby.
He's
Big
not
game
going to be
James.
KD.
But I'll give you that. Like,
It's gonna be
KD's gonna
matchups
work for James
everywhere.
Worthy.
Bron's gonna be better than
I
Scotty.
think Scotty and LeBron would be closer than people expect, but LeBron's going to win that matchup hands down. And then Hakeem versus Shaq is your real toss-up.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the definitive part of the game.
Yeah,
If
I went with
whoever
the
wins that
most,
matchup
the most
wins that
dominant
game.
big and the most skilled big going at
Yeah.
it.
So, and once again, I think honestly would end up canceling out, which then I think honestly the matchup that would decide it, it's the two alpha males on the court.
The Kobe and Jordan.
It's
thing.
Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah.
It's the two alphas on
Like
the
I
court.
said, I didn't pick a series where I said
And I
my
think
5 is
Jordan's
gonna
better.
win. I said my 5. I can give you a 5 right now that'll make it interesting.
I got you. That's what's up.
But in 7
Greg,
games,
what's
like
your 5? What's your
My
5?
five's
it's
pretty-
going at least 6.
My 5's pretty similar. It's Kobe,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, KD, Anthony Davis,
You went big.
Shaq.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, so Kobe's at your 1? Or Bron's running the 1?
Now LeBron's running the
one.
one.
Yeah.
LeBron's the one no matter who's on the
Yeah.
court.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think
That's
Anthony
interesting, though.
Davis can stay with James.
Oh, he would.
He
he
beat
can
James.
he could stay with James on the defensive end.
Yeah.
In terms of putting him on the block and doing whatever, he can do that too. And then you have Shaq and
AD.
You have Shaq and Hakeem going at it. From what we know, Hakeem is going to eat him alive because he did that in that Houston series, but that was a young Shaq.
Yeah, I was say, we're taking everybody in that
Prime
prime.
Shaq.
So we're taking
I don't
01
know
Shaq.
anymore.
We're taking 01 Shaq.
But Hakeem
01
is-
Shaq.
But like I
Hakeem
said-
in his prime though.
Yeah,
we're taking the
still-
most skilled big, and we're taking the most dominant big.
So I think
gonna just be a
that's
great
tall
matchup.
set.
It's gonna be a great matchup.
I would rather have Kobe guarding Pippen, and I would rather have LeBron guarding Magic, and then KD
So who's guarding
guarding
Jordan?
Nah. Jordan's first step is way too quick for KD.
Destroying
Are you
him,
sure?
man.
I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
I'm
about that.
sure.
Hey, I'm pretty sure
You know
about
what's
that.
funny
I'm
about
pretty
that?
sure
That
That makes sense to me.
He has a
Here's
link to
here's
try to
here's
make
the
up for
problem
it,
with
but
everything
nah,
you said.
Why?
Kobe's not gonna let KD guard Jordan.
Yeah, that's why that would never go like
and
that.
say I got Jordan.
Oh,
Okay, all right. Whatever.
KD's not even gonna be allowed
But
to come over there.
realistically, on that court that we just named for year 5, Kobe might be the best defender if we're taking
Yeah.
everybody out there prime.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is a
He's still
great
Bro,
defender.
Kobe
The
went
on-ball
12 first
defender,
team,
though, he's not the
12
on-ball-
all-time defense. 9 first
KD
team?
just started halfway paying attention to defense when he got to
Even
Golden
if that's
State.
the case, in his prime season with, I would say it was with Golden State, not his MVP season.
He was a
He's
great
still-
shot blocker.
he
He was
helped
great on defensive
long.
end.
He's a
He
great
was
rim
able-
protector.
He was able to
Great,
switch on
he-
everything.
He's still not the guy
He's
that
not
you
somebody
want
you're
at
gonna
the
throw. Yeah,
He's
You're
not the
gonna
guy
throw
you
him on
want at
Jordan.
the point of attack on Jordan,
I
bro.
don't know,
Because he
man.
is a great rim protector. But if
Homeboy,
you,
we talk about all the time. He's 7 feet.
He is, but like I'm saying, if Jordan's able to get him out on that wing, that first step is so lethal.
Look, I'm not saying
And I
that,
think he's gonna
I'm not
beat him
saying
by
that
that
Jordan-
much
I'm
where
not
his
saying
length's
that
not gonna
Jordan's
make
not
up.
going to get 30 because he will get 30.
On anybody, we
He
know
getting
that.
30 on
This is
anybody.
who's gonna
But it's
make
the
it the
matter-
hardest for him. And I
think
would rather
Kevin
have
Durant's the best
KD.
bet.
I would rather have KD waiting help side
Than
rather
on
than
the
have
ball.
him on ball.
I mean, truth be told, if LeBron's locked in, I would trust LeBron.
And I
over
wanted
more
to
than
say that
anybody
name, but
else.
he might not.
When
be.
is-
He's gonna be mentally fried,
fact that
bro. He's gonna be mentally fried.
that's gonna mess with his
Arguably
offense.
second best player in the world ever won't be locked in bothers me.
It bothers everybody, and this is my problem with Bron sometimes.
That's why Bron.
I don't know
literally,
when I
that's
can
why-
trust him.
That's why he is who he is,
Man,
and that's why we can't give him that one. Like
Enigma.
I tell Taman all the time, like if you just plug in
Kobe's mindset and Bron's skill set.
Yeah. If you, or I even just look at it like this, like if you look at Bron on his best day, like him on one of them days where he's just hitting shots, everything is flowing great. You could say he looks like a better player than like Jordan on his best day, just because Bron, his size, his athleticism, everything that comes with it. But
Right.
the thing is, Bron is not that best day Bron every day. You were gonna get that elite killer in Jordan and his skill set. You were gonna get that
Every game.
9 times out of 10. Probably some of those elite days with Bron, I feel like you're gonna get those maybe 4 to 6 times out of the 10.
Yeah.
And then those other 4 times is you don't know what's gonna be going through his mind.
I don't
This is one of the
disagree.
few times I'm gonna actually stick up for LeBron. I feel like we're being jaded by LeBron's recent history.
No, I'm even thinking about back in his first cast and even in the
His
Miami.
first
season.
Cavs stint,
And even in the
LeBron
Miami season.
showed up
He did.
every night. His first couple years in Miami, he showed up every. Now he choked. He has the biggest choke of all time on his resume, so I'm not even going to defend that. When we're talking about effort, though, like LeBron showed up every night. Now, my point was, I simply don't trust him to one-on-one match up with Jordan, look him in the face, and say, "I will go at you." Like
And
I
that's
don't
what-
trust
and
that.
But that's what I'm saying.
what
That's
we're
the
getting
thing.
at.
That's the edge
effort
off.
wise, he'll try. Kobe will look Jordan in the face and say, "Yo, I'm not going anywhere."
But what I'm trying to say is
There's
that's,
the
I don't
difference.
think I think that's a lack of effort. If you're
I don't think that's a
mentally,
lack-
if you're not mentally engaged like that,
I'm not
locked
talking
in,
about
there's-
being mentally engaged. I'm talking about he will it's mano y mano. He will physically look Jordan in the face, and
No, I'm
Jordan will
talking
say,
about
"You're a
Bron.
baby," and
Oh.
LeBron will go, "Maybe I am."
that's the issue right there.
That's not
That's a
mentally
lack of
engaged.
effort.
That's you're not that man.
That's a mental
You're just
lapse.
not an alpha.
So I guess
That's
it's killer.
why,
It's,
that's-
I guess it's come down to the killer instinct.
That's more so what I'm talking
Bron
about. I'm not
does
talking
not
about
have that.
effort.
He's gonna be out there and he's gonna give it his all. Like but it's not gonna be at those times where he doesn't think like that. Because there's some days he walks out and he's like, "Yo, I'm the greatest ever." You could see it on his face.
Yeah.
Bron does not have the mentality he had the day he went for 51, 8-8 in
Bro, game one, that was the best
He
Bron
does.
I've ever seen.
He
That's
never.
the best Bron
He
I've ever seen.
never had. He does not every single night he step on the floor have that mindset. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you, like you plug in any great game that Jordan has ever had, you watch just that 51, 8-8, and somebody were to be like, you take like that game and you take like when Jordan went for like one time he gave the Cavs like 69 one time in like the early 90s, like Jordan did. Like he gave them 69, one of the greatest arsenals of like just being able to get to a spot and pull up like within a game setting. But like you look at those two games, you could still be like, if somebody just picked off of those, watching Bron's game and watching Mike's game, you could potentially say Bron is the best player. I wouldn't fault somebody because watching what he did in that Golden State game was godly.
Yeah.
It was godly. But the thing is, you don't get that 51, 8, and 8 Bron all of the time. A prime example.
I can go with that.
A prime example when he played the Clips on Tuesday.
Oh, I was so disappointed.
He had like
No, yeah,
18.
he
He had like
had-
18.
It was a pretty
19.
bad game.
He just he
I
looked
think
like
him-
he just.
I don't
won't
think
there.
him and AD combined for 5 points in the fourth. I'm about to pull
Yeah,
it back.
they both. Yeah, they
Because
both
AD only
struggled in
had
the
2
fourth.
in
I
the
know
fourth.
that.
AD only had 2 in the fourth.
Like LeBron, honestly, that game he just looked like he kind of looked like what I said when we was talking about I forgot the GM's name for the Pelicans now.
David
Okay.
Griffin.
Yeah, no, not Cupcake for the Pelicans.
Pelicans. David
Griffin.
Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
When Griffin said he's not as hungry as he was, that's honestly what it looked like in that moment. Like he just
Nah, I don't
just
think
wasn't
I don't
hungry
think-
for it.
I don't
Kawhi
think-
was like, "It's mine now." LeBron was like, "Maybe it is.
I don't think he is. I
Maybe
think,
it is. I don't know."
I think
These
Bron
LeBron impersonations.
Bron is starting to reach a point. I mean, like his oldest is about to be a freshman. He's about to drop a movie. There's so like between
But
like
even with all those things, what made Space Jam, the first one, special, what made Jordan special was the fact that, like everyone said, there was like this no days off type mentality to him.
Facts.
Like we looked at him and he was giving us GOAT vibes every time he stepped on the court. And then you have LeBron where sometimes you're like, he can be the GOAT. Should
Should be the goat.
Should be.
He
the
should be.
GOAT.
He has,
should.
he has
He should.
every
Like,
reason to be.
The
and he's
numbers
not.
say
He's
he's
really
GOAT
close.
worthy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think that's the difficulty. And so, like, the success of Space Jam, the first one, was from Jordan being what Jordan is. The LeBron one, I don't think he'll be that successful off that strength alone. Like,
Unless he wins.
yeah, he would have to win just off that alone. And this ain't no Space Jam spill, but it's just more so like looking at LeBron not necessarily being the GOAT every time he steps on the court. If I'm getting 51, 8, and 8 LeBron for that series,
if Bron's
if-
getting
if
51, 8, and 8, he's winning any
if-
series he doesn't
if
have
I'm
J.R.
getting
Smith
that
with him.
GOAT vibe, if I'm getting that GOAT vibe from him in my 5, I think they win that series.
I got you. I can go with that.
But you're rolling the dice.
And that's the sad part.
And
I
the
shouldn't
dice-
have to roll the dice on
The dice
on
may
arguably
roll
the
you.
second best player ever.
Exactly.
The whole point of this conversation is KD's starting 5 was laughable.
I mean, he picked
Yeah.
the homies. He picked the homies.
He picked the homies.
Like if I had a
it was Kyrie, James Harden,
they're not guarding
KD.
a soul in the backcourt.
Draymond,
Yeah,
and Serge Ibaka.
a blocker.
Like I know he was on Serge's show, but come on, man.
I mean, you gotta throw the homies in there. Like
Come
I'm
on.
realistically.
Like I would have looked Serge and I'd be like, "Hey man, I love you to death. You can come off my bench."
I think he picked he picked
Tenth
the homies.
man.
He was like, these are the guys I enjoy playing with most likely.
But then he tried to back it up with actual basketball now. She's like, "Yeah, we could switch everything on defense." Who are you switching with Kyrie and James Harden in your backcourt?
not guarding a soul.
Who? And then to top it all off, you just named 2 of the biggest ball dominant guards in the league.
Is he talking about this team matching with all time? Or
Yeah,
just for the
his
day?
Jordan's team.
That was his team.
Yeah.
He said that team could beat anybody.
Anybody?
Not the team I just named.
Like, you gotta be kidding me.
That's funny. Hey, shout out KD. Man.
KD's a funny guy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
My 5 for the record: Magic, Kobe, Bird, KD. I'm gonna go
Bird or Draymond.
No, Draymond definitely
You
coming off my
sick.
bench though. And Kareem at the 5.
I thought about Kareem.
Oh,
at the
I
five.
thought we were just doing a 5 that matched up with.
I think my
Jordan's
5
5.
matches up with anybody. Love it. I don't care.
But you take it.
Take
from
my-
that 5.
Yeah,
So
you
my-
can't.
Yeah,
You
you can't take Magic.
Oh, we can't take. Oh,
I thought we
Yeah,
could do that.
yeah,
Because
my
if that's
bad.
the case, I'm going Kobe,
My bad.
Jordan.
Oh, my bad.
Taking
Okay.
everybody.
I'm taking Oscar. I'm gonna go Oscar at the 1. Then I'm gonna take Kobe at the 2, Bird at the 3. At the 4, I'll go KG. At the 5, I'll go Kareem.
I thought about Bird and KG too. I really thought about Bird hard, but I was
Bird's my guy. I'll ride or die for Bird all day long. My man is the most disrespected legend of all time.
I just had to take KD.
He's that man.
I agree.
Bird will look anybody in the eye and say, I'll give you 50 and do it.
Yep. And I would want to have Larry Bird guard Magic.
Yeah,
I would love that.
That's a safe bet. That's a safe bet.
That's kind of like when I took Rockets 4 and the Warriors 5 just so I could see the matchup.
just to watch it all over again.
Right.
It's like I could have something better maybe, but I want this.
Yeah, just for entertainment purposes.
That'd be
Strictly.
hilarious.
But yeah, shout out Jordan, shout out KD.
I'm not shouting out Jordan. We're not shouting out. This
every
is
five ever made.
This is the official,
No, if you're
unofficial,
listening,
none shout out
send
to
us your
Jordan.
5 on Twitter, on Instagram. Let us know what y'all rocking.
Facts. Send us your all-time 5 that you think could match up with Jordan's 5. So that means you can't pick Jordan, you can't pick Magic, you can't pick Hakeem,
No Scotty, and no James Worthy.
no James Worthy. You got to give us a 5 that matches up with them, and leave a comment as to why you would do it, why they would work. Appreciate it. Let's keep going, man. We 2 games in for some, maybe 1 for others, but some of these guys, these young guys came out and they were balling. So, Tamon, I'm going to let you get it off first.
I know you are.
I'm going to let you go ahead and say what you got to say first.
Malik has been preaching the words of Kawhi for like half a year now. And I've been coming up with an even more crazy prediction since the boy was in high school.
A lot more risky.
Mr. North Carolina bucket getting record. This is Mr. UNC freshman scoring record getter, bucket getter, Mr. Coby. And I ain't talking about Bryant. The freshman scoring record? Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Oh, wow.
He broke 3 Jordan. You want to talk about Jordan? He broke. Nah.
I mean, Jordan played for Dean Smith.
I
so we're
don't
not gonna,
care.
We're not gonna,
Hey,
you
look.
can't properly put him on.
Look, he broke
Jordan
3.
What was the saying? What was the saying? The only person that
The
could
whole Jordan under 20 was Dean Smith, man. That's the only person that can hold Jordan under 20.
And the only person who could snatch Jordan records apparently is Coby, because he got the North Carolina high school scoring record. He has the UNC freshman scoring record, and he has the most
Did Jordan
points.
have that record?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. The UNC freshman
I thought
scoring record.
Hansborough had that record.
Nah.
Freshman? No.
Nah, Tyler blew up like
Junior
he,
year.
Tyler was a beast his
He
freshman
was.
year.
Junior, that's when he
but
blew
it
up,
wasn't.
though.
It wasn't.
I mean, he blew up. But we just saying scoring record. I thought Tyler had that because Jordan was the 3rd leading scorer on his team.
But that
Fact
was still a
check me.
lot.
And I don't gotta
for,
fact check that.
It was for a
Fact
freshman.
check me. It was for a freshman.
I do remember hearing when they said he broke that.
So he broke that, and he broke, I think it was most points in a Ricky
Chicago
Bulls
Bulls.
debut. And Jordan had 15, Coby had 17.
So, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was Jordan.
So
All right.
basically,
So basically, Kobe's better than Jordan. How I've been saying this whole time.
if you're
And it just had to come in waves,
Whoa.
bro.
Look
It had
into
to
the
come in
camera and say that with a
waves.
straight
Kobe's
face,
better
please.
than Jordan, and it had to come to waves. Hey, look, you want to go conspiracy theory league? Hey, I got a conspiracy theory with you. All right, look, listen.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Kobe Bryant,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps, shaded cousin, second removed, perhaps illegitimate stepchild son, I don't know,
Yep.
raised up Coby White in North Carolina because
gosh.
Kobe Bryant realized I might not ever touch Jordan's accomplishments. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm gonna raise somebody to do it after me. And it was Coby White.
This man's
And then
You are on
he
one
trolled
right now.
he trolled Jordan by having Kobe grow up in North Carolina and take the record, go to UNC and take the record, and get drafted by the Bulls and take the record. Yeah, he trolled Jordan. He trolled Jordan the whole time. No, but all seriousness, Coby White played with such poise and pace.
Yeah.
He's first of all, get Chris Dunn out of there.
oh, that's
Him,
only a
him
matter
and
of time.
KCP need to link
The
up
problem
and
is
go be
nobody
bummed
wants him.
somewhere.
No, nobody wants Chris Dunn. though.
But him and KCP need to link up, go be bummed somewhere. Like Coby White get off because that boy was going. And he was at times he was the best option. And then as soon as it was go time, you gave it to my player to watch, Zach LaVine, who went for 30 in that game against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, which was a phenomenal game. Kobe came out, shot extremely well from the perimeter. He got to the cup strong. He played great defense, hands up. He's really active without fouling. The boy has all around game.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked great. He looked really good.
Now, preference, he played against the worst team in the NBA, in the Charlotte Hornets.
Well, no. He played, you talking about
that
the
first game.
The first game,
the
yeah.
17.
The second game he played against
He
the
played against
Grizzlies.
and then the next game, he played against Chicago Bulls, who we all went on record saying had
The Grizzlies.
no
The
he played
Grizzlies.
against
I mean, the Grizzlies, who we also know is going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA this year. Just once again, I like Kobe. I hope he continues this. I just want let's preface.
He didn't pick
He's
his
played against
schedule.
two of the worst
He
teams in
didn't
the
pick his
NBA.
schedule. He
He
showed
played
up to
schedule.
work.
He did what he was supposed to do.
He showed up to work.
I just want to preface.
And I'm gonna applaud that.
I agree.
Yeah, I was
Just preference.
but it wasn't. It was impressive. I was
looked good.
actually excited about that matchup because it was Ja Morant
Yeah,
versus
It was Ja
Kobe,
Morant, yeah.
and Kobe was just aggressive.
And that's what I like.
Just really,
And even the
confident
shots that he
He's a
missed,
score. He's gonna go get a shot.
the
confident
shots that
and
he missed, he
aggressive.
shoots them with confidence.
He does.
So-
He shoots every shot with confidence.
But
he could pull from half court with confidence.
But they
He don't
look
care.
good coming off his hands. Like, oh, he believes that's going in. It's some people who put the ball up and it's just like, nah, that shot's not going in. Or it's like, he thought about that one. But Kobe is like, catch, he'll jab you one way, sidestep for the tray. And I'm like, yo, this guy is young and he's doing this.
There's certain
at an elite level.
There's certain guys that, and I even tell it to some of my kids when I'm working with them on their shot. But some guys, they're shooting the ball and they're hoping to make it. He's shooting it knowing like this is going in every time it comes off his hands. And he's just one of those other guys I feel like you can move him up stage to stage from AAU to high school to college to NBA.
He'll just make it work.
Yeah, like I don't think any
His
stage
game really translates.
I don't think any stage is too big for him, and I don't even think he sometimes is one of those kids where he puts like an added weight, like like I'm in college now, I got to do this, or like
Nah.
I'm in the league now, I got like I think it to him he's just been running fives the past few years.
It's just been a pickup game with the bros.
Every time he steps on the floor.
He's not afraid of anybody.
And for that, I think that's something to definitely keep note of. Because like you said, you look at the other guy right next to him, Zach LaVine. They might have
Go
a
time. They might have a backcourt for the future.
Going.
They might have a backcourt
something.
for the
And then
future.
You can't sleep on Laurie.
All I'm a question is
And
just-
Laurie, that's
yeah.
I mentioned all this on my players to watch when I was going through the Bulls, and I was like, I thought about Laurie and I thought about Kobe, but I chose Zach just because he's going to be the man for that team. And we saw that against the Grizzlies when it was go time and they were down one. It's like, all right, Zach, I know Kobe's been going, but this is your mob.
Right.
That backcourt with him and Kobe, it's going to be crazy. Chris and matter of fact, why is Zach getting more? Come on,
They
dog.
were doing that, and
they need to stop.
Yeah,
they need to stop.
I saw that coming.
Everybody
Yeah.
needs to get like him.
They're gonna keep
Chris.
Zach.
Okay,
Ransky
keep
can
Zach.
be your
Get
backup.
Chris.
Yeah.
Get Chris out of there and give Kobe the minutes.
Yeah. I think the Bulls weren't expecting Kobe to be like this real this quick. I think
No.
They should have called me.
I think everybody
They should have called me.
he was definitely going to take the starting point at some point in time. I don't think
They
people
thought he was probably like 2 years out. They thought he was a year or two
I
out.
was thinking maybe by like All-Star break he had it. Nobody knew game 2. All right, he's actually really ready.
Who didn't know?
I'm
Because
really-
I knew.
masses, the
I
masses.
knew.
I feel bad really dumping on the Kobe train. I'm really rooting for him. I think he's gonna be a bucket getter in the league for a really long time. Just calm down just a little bit. He's a tough shot maker in the league where he's played against two of the worst defenses in the league. Let's pump the brakes just a little bit.
I'm still on the Kobe. I'm on the Kobe train.
I'm
Real
rooting
one.
for him.
Kobe train.
If he
Real
keeps
one.
this up, I'll be so happy for him. He's a Carolina kid.
Brian,
I
you
saw
gotta
him in
win
person.
3 rings straight to ever get any full credit out of
Dude,
it.
come on. Once again, it's
you gotta be
2 games
Draymond.
in against 2 of the worst teams in the league. And let's be honest, Kobe still is the guy he takes and makes tough shots. That could go real well for you one week, and then the next week, you can't buy one. That's just the way the game works sometimes. That's all I'm saying.
7 rings in Chicago.
I think
That's all I'm saying.
I think Kobe, granted being a tough shot maker, I think he also shown signs of being able to initiate and run an offense.
That has impressed me.
And that is what I like most because I feel like if he can find a way,
He can play beside Zach if he's able to do that.
exactly,
Right.
if he can find a way to determine which shots to take and when to take them, not pick up that gunner trait.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
And not pick that trade up rather, I think he'll be okay because he got enough young weapons around him to be special for that team to be special.
Yeah.
And like I said,
And I think it's-
I said this pods ago, but like this team just needs time to bake. And they
I think they need some veteran leadership, and not only on the court, but in the coaching staff and the
Yeah.
organization. Eventually, like I say, in the next 2 years, they need to make a push to try to be one of the top teams of the East.
yeah,
Because Zach is not gonna sit there forever and just be like, "Yo, like I'm getting tired of this. Like we're gonna have to go." And they have to
fact,
realize
but
he might be the
he's 24, Laurie's 22, Kobe's 19, Wendell Carter's 20. Like these guys,
Hey, put him in a hyperbolic chime chamber, and we're ready to go now. It's go time.
Dragon Ball Z reference.
like I think they gotta let this jump bake.
I mean, they're gonna
and when
have
you
to
look
force
at guys
it,
like
yeah.
Wendell Carter, who
Who can actually hoop?
he can score.
He can hoop. He
can
has
score. He can put
more
the
than
ball
just
in the
an
rim.
ability to defend the rim. Like
Right.
he can actually put the
And
ball
I
into
think
the
he's
hoop.
underrated in terms of stretching the floor. Like I think he can make shots on the outside. Has a good mid range. Has a feel for the mid range and being on the outside. And then you have Otto Porter. I mean, we talked about this team already enough, but if you like clean up the bench, add a little more veteran presence,
I just need them
maybe
to
even
make-
add someone else.
That's what I'm saying.
that's really
Show that you're in a
complimentary.
position that like we're not just here doing nothing. Show us that you're trying to build. And they have
And
been
that's my
so
biggest
far.
fear with the Bulls.
I don't want them to just get
organization.
stagnant and be like we're not really actually pushing to win anything. Like show Zach that you're trying to push for a win, and maybe he's gonna stick around through the goods and the bads. Because there's gonna be a lot of bad years before he gets good.
I honestly think this might be their last, I think, bad year before it's like, all right, we're a playoff team and we're judging our performance.
Yeah, but you don't want to
they
end
got-
up being
they got
the
this
Wizards.
Sacramento energy to them. Like we know they're not a good team. Like I guess a year or two ago, like that's how we felt about them. Like, we know they're not a
'Cause
good
they're
team,
further along in
but they
Sacramento.
are special. Like we can see something out of them. And no, they're not. They're not.
They're better
not.
than Sacramento.
No, they're not.
I think their best player is better than Sacramento's best player, but I don't think the Bulls are better than Sacramento.
I don't know about
I think
that
they're
either.
in a better.
I
De'Aaron
think
Fox
I think
is better
Zach.
than Zach LaVine.
I think Zach might have De'Aaron.
Zach is better than De'Aaron.
I think Zach might have
Zach,
De'Aaron.
we're looking at somebody that's probably
I'm not rolling with that.
he might make an all-star. He averaged like 24 last
Yeah,
year.
25.
Like,
Yeah, 25.
True,
dog.
true fact.
So,
But
like-
look what De'Aaron Fox did.
we're
What,
still waiting for him to add.
in the West? Like, come on,
I
fam.
mean, and that's what I said. I said the team, that Kings team might be better than that Bulls team, but I said the Bulls' best player is probably better than the Kings' best player.
I don't know.
I'm taking the Kings.
I'm taking the Kings team. I'm taking Zach LaVine
All
over
right,
De'Aaron
that's
Fox.
gonna be a big pod when the Kings and the Chicago Bulls.
That's a slow, slow Thursday games roll around.
So who else? We got the Kobe train going, man. Brian, do you got a name? You got somebody you was looking at like this was impressive?
Everybody kind of did what I expected. Luka looks like he's taking that step. Like he looks ready for the moment. Like
Yeah, you did, but you did say one person. And
Luke Kennard, baby. Bucket. Bucket getter. That's all I said he was. He's a
I wasn't
bucket
even
getter.
going there. I was
I don't know
talking
where he's
about.
going.
I was talking about your boy out of Minnesota.
Oh, Karl Anthony Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns. You say you trying to get out of there?
He's
Great game the other day.
He's had 2 great games. Everybody forget he
went,
dropped
what,
37 when Kyrie dropped 50. Like
Yeah,
he's
he
had
went
2
13.
great
Yeah,
games.
37 and like
He
14.
went 13 for 18 the last night out.
So Karl Anthony looks like
He looks like he's
whatever
about to,
Jimmy Butler said to him lit a fire.
look
Apparently.
like he's about to force his way out of
Now,
Minnesota.
if I'm him, yeah, seriously, he look like he wants out of there right now. Because if I'm him, I'm looking at Andrew Wiggins like, hey man,
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins looking trash.
No,
Andrew had-
He did play pretty well versus the. He had 21 and
he
27
took
shots.
27 shots, Greg.
But he played really
Greg,
big in
there's
those
no
final
but. There's no
minutes.
there's no but.
Here's my thing. 'Cause
All he did was make up for having a horrible like
Here's
first
my
He had
thing.
what,
minute.
5 buckets in those,
I
in
never
those
get-
last 5 minutes, I think.
I never get mad at a score for having an off game. Sometimes you make shots, sometimes you don't. That's the way basketball works.
Okay.
I have a problem when how do you play almost 40 minutes, not get one? You are 6'8" with a 40-inch vertical.
No rebounds.
No rebounds almost. No steals. No blocks. What are you doing
He's
out
not
here?
giving any effort or energy.
running.
He's
I
not
can-
giving out any effort or
Bro,
energy,
I
bro.
can walk on the NBA court and get a steal if I play 35 minutes. I guarantee I'm gonna at least get one.
I'm gonna have
just
something.
one.
I'm gonna have something.
I'm gonna get one block just being out there.
I'ma get
It
a
ain't
long
gonna
rebound.
Look good. It ain't gonna be no chasing nobody down. It's just gonna be in the right position at the right
have my
time. I'm
hands
gonna
up.
get one. You are 6'8" with a 40-inch vertical. How is this possible? Like he literally walks on the court and he's probably the best athlete on the court.
But you can't tell.
You can't, yo, it frustrates me. I rooted for him so bad. I wanted him to be so good.
And they call him the Canadian Kobe.
Yo,
Yeah.
whoever says that should be kicked out of Canada that day.
He's not even the best player from Canada right now.
No, he's not.
He might not
I'd
be
take
top
RJ
two.
Barrett over him right now, in all honesty.
No,
RJ hoops.
RJ's gonna be better than Wiggs just because I think RJ has that want to
Yes,
be
he's
great.
a dog.
Like Andrew coming in, I think Andrew coming in had more in his bag than RJ, but RJ has the want to be great long term, and I don't think Andrew still like the fact that they're bringing back articles now of Minnesota like management saying all right, we're going to give you this max. Can you promise us you're going to try to get better? Like, at that point in time,
It's really
pitiful.
negotiating
That's
with a
crazy.
kid.
Yeah,
It's like a
like,
kid throwing a tantrum.
can
It's
you
like,
please-
I'll give you this bag of chips, but you got to promise me you're going to stop crying.
promise me you're going to.
Are you really going to do what you're supposed to do today?
Mind you, we
Okay,
talking
here.
150 M's on the table right now. Like, at that point in time, Andrew is a high-level idiot.
They can't
in the
even
event.
trade him.
Can't.
They can't even trade him.
I'm not taking that.
Nobody wants this dude
Nope.
just because they know he's not it. He don't even want it. He's just out here collecting checks.
He's robbed. Yo, that man needs life in prison. Nah, I ain't gonna never wish that on nobody.
I ain't gonna go that far.
But he's out here robbing people. Is what I'm trying to get to.
Like,
Yeah,
man.
and I don't know.
Man,
I
Jay.
agree. I
I'm sorry.
think
We got off track. Karl Anthony Towns is hooping right now. My man is averaging 36, 14, and 5.
so how
My
we
man
go
is
from
hooping.
uplifting my man to just shooting down Wiggs?
Man.
You're that bad, Wiggs.
No, because
we can't
that's-
even give Karl Anthony
because
Towns a
it-
because
compliment.
it's the situation.
If Wiggins like gave him anything, like just any, if he just came on the court and
They're a playoff
did,
team.
if he did what Brandon Ingram's doing right now in the Pelicans, if he just did that, Minnesota could be in contention for a playoff spot. In contention, don't know if they make it, but they be in contention. But since you got Andrew Wiggins, guess what we getting? This. Karl Anthony Towns getting 30 and 10, and they ain't gonna have nothing to show for it.
Except an All-Star appearance.
That's it.
He gonna get a bag and he gonna rock.
Man, I feel
So-
bad for us, man.
But yeah, Carl's been hooping. And looking at, like we said, looking at Minnesota, it's hard to watch Karl Anthony Towns be so great and then see someone who is just as talented not play up to their potential. And I think that's the tough part in watching Andrew Wiggins play. Because you have two young stars, supposedly, talent-wise anyways, where they're both gifted, both can put the ball on the floor, both athletic enough to play both sides of the ball, shoot. Like,
You're right.
you have it all.
Playing defense this year. Like, yo.
He's playing
Like,
defense.
yo.
He almost made me want to walk back my KP. Like, he almost made me want to do it. But then I saw Luke and KP go, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be something special.
KP look good, but he don't look better.
He's not better than Cat. He's not
Oh,
better
man.
than Cat. I told y'all. I told you.
Man.
He's not
He
better than
almost made me
Cat.
want to walk it back, and I was like, he's...
Man. But yeah, Luka and KP do look good though.
Yep,
Yeah.
the Euro duo.
I like it. I like what I see out there.
Man.
Dag Wiggs. If only. If only Wiggs.
Hey, he got the generational wealth bags. I mean, I,
I mean,
don't think he might not
I'm
care
never
no
mad
more.
at somebody getting a bag, but man,
He's gonna be one of those guys where once their careers are all over and the superstars talk about him, they'll be like, you know what, he was good enough, but he
just didn't care.
just didn't care.
And I think honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if his big problem is, I think all the work, all the hype, and all the accolades that we want him to work for in his mind, because of the person he was growing up, he's kind of already received so much stardom and
he's
this and that.
accomplished everything.
He, like, in his mind, like, I wouldn't even say maybe in his mind, but like
He's arrived.
He's already, and yeah, he arrived as an 18-year-old
Right.
with just as much money he touched under the table. All the people telling him he's the greatest. He's been around NBA dudes even when he was in high school. Like, I don't think this lifestyle for him right now is anything new. And I think what he's living right now, he's been living a lifestyle like that, probably similar to when he was 14, 15. So I don't think he's really in a position where he wants for
So
more.
he sucks because he's bored.
Yes.
Fair
That's
enough.
sad.
That
Fair enough.
sucks.
That's sad.
It's crazy, but I think
You play a game for a living and you're bored.
there's rich
Fair
people
enough.
problems.
Yeah.
And he's
Some people just don't got their heart in it. They just don't want to do it anymore.
There's a lot of dudes in the league.
Retire.
There's a lot of
I mean,
dudes.
but
gotta
like
collect
some
the
people,
check.
some people do like just because you're great at something doesn't mean you necessarily want to do it. And maybe it was just he was great. This was his way of making his own money, starting his own brand. But he never saw basketball as anything but a means to an ends. So now that he has the ends, because people play for different reasons. Not everybody just has the love of the game like us. Like, mind you, the case in point I always bring up is Snoop Dogg's son, Cordell Brodus.
He quit.
He quit. He rocked. As soon as Snoop was like, I'm gonna love you regardless of whether you play football, he was like, all right, I'm not playing. And he went to like film school or something. He was a 4-star receiver.
Man, if you don't go long, we down.
But some people just don't hoop or play sports for like the reasons that we expect everybody to. So he might literally just be bored.
Might be, man. I just know it's a sad,
Such a waste.
Yeah, sad waste to see. And
Maybe 6'8",
and I've heard
generational talent. I bet
heard
you I
it.
won't be bored.
Miami's about to beat Milwaukee, y'all.
Oh,
Something the Rockets couldn't do.
6-point game, 2 minutes left. Anyway,
Rockets gonna be.
Speaking of,
overrated
did y'all
too,
see how
man.
James hooped against the Bucks?
what do you mean?
He shot the ball awfully.
Yeah, he
Like,
shot
It's
like
James
awful.
Harden. He's gonna have games like
Awful. Game 1?
Yeah, at least wait till the playoffs.
Hey man, we're not overreacting on Houston.
I'm not
all right?
overreacting. I'm just saying
that. I
he
mean,
played awful.
it was exactly what I expected.
Y'all
just
make me
early.
sick, man.
Nah, I didn't think James was gonna shoot like that. And mind you, this is another case in point of somebody going out and James wanted to just go hide. Like, Giannis fouls out with like
5 minutes left.
5 minutes left. He fouls out. James didn't do a thing.
James Harden.
I feel like I've heard that happen.
Deja
before.
vu.
An elite star.
An elite 7-footer fouls out. James.
James just don't do a thing.
The thing is, I'll say about Russ, whether you hate him or love you, he'll die with you.
Yeah.
You're gonna die a lot though.
Yeah,
you
that's the
gonna
thing.
die a lot, but he gonna die with you. A lot of people won't do that. A lot of people will
At a certain
save
point in
face. He'll die
time,
with
though,
you.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, that's the thing about Russ.
Exactly.
That's the thing about Russ. He thinks he's immortal.
So I'm not really like it's only 2 games.
Yeah, it's
they
2
only played 2.
Yeah.
Or they
No, they played one.
Nah,
they
they
played
played
one.
one.
They
game.
played 1.
They played night. It's what I expected.
I'm okay with what happened there.
Yeah.
Cause I don't
No,
expect him to go,
I'm not okay.
I don't expect him to go 2 for 14.
I don't expect Russ to shoot 42% from 3 either.
Yeah, he was spraying that
Wait.
joint.
Maybe he
was
worked on
he
it.
was 3 for 7. So.
Maybe he worked on it.
It's Russ. He was spraying that joint.
Still shot 63% from the free throw line.
All right. Whatever. Even if that's the case, I like what I saw out of Russ. I think James Harden is an easy fix, especially in the regular season. That shot will start to fall.
Talking about a team that's thin.
Just leave him alone.
We can
man.
beat up on every team. They can get beat up too.
Like you talking about a team that's thin. Like this bench is. Whew,
As far as the Rockets,
yeah.
there's
If
someone.
Eric Gordon ain't hitting,
Mind you, they paid Eric this summer.
Call
had
him
to.
Mello.
You had no choice. They are not gonna call him Melo.
they need to call somebody.
Call
PJ
Jesus.
Tucker was already limping last night.
Yeah, and he played a lot of minutes at the
Yeah.
5.
Had to.
Like he's playing aggressive minutes
Now,
at the
does
he
5.
started getting
anybody
wor-
know why they're giving him all these minutes at the 5?
PJ.
Because
They don't have another
You
5.
only got Clint
Clint,
Capella and
that's
Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, like why can't
Tyson Chandler is 37.
They should have
Yeah,
just not
bro.
brought him on if they wanted.
I
to pay
agree.
him.
They should have
Well,
got somebody else.
The Lakers
Too
had a
late now.
stranglehold on all the bigs in the league.
They do have like.
They was
4.
like, yo, if you want a big, you got to make a deal with us.
And I think Brown was smart about that. I don't think when they get to the playoffs, people forget every year we're around February we're gonna get the spectacular midseason Brown trade. There's always
I don't know if they're going to get that this year.
I don't
I
think
don't,
so
even, I don't
either.
see it.
Nah,
I
there's
don't
too
see
many.
it.
There's
they
too
gon-
many similars.
Who's on this roster that people want,
The
though?
thing is, I don't think they need to make a trade. But if Brown wants a trade to happen, it's gonna happen.
I'm not gonna say they won't make a trade. My point is, it's not gonna be anything spectacular. Like, there's
it'll be
nobody
for
on this
some
roster
other-
you can
Yeah,
get rid of.
This isn't what was that Knicks trade back when he got JR
Yeah.
and Shump. Like it's not that.
It's not.
I don't think he can get blessed like that again.
But mind you, when they made that trade, all they brought in were role guys. They
But-
just brought in new role guys. So twice.
But those were young and granted, even though Shump was coming off his ACL tear, I believe, they were pretty much still in their prime.
Yeah,
for the
they
most
were-
part.
they were
JR was pretty much still in his prime. Shump, after his ACL tear, he was trying to get back. He really never turned out to be the same he was before. But
mind you, Braun though he did
It was
another.
that
He
more
did
so than
another.
anything.
He did another heavy role player trade though his last year in Cleveland. All right, mind you, looking back on it now, I don't think Derrick Rose missed some 2 free throws in a game 1 of the NBA Finals. I don't think Derrick Rose
I think
would.
we discussed that last night. I
Yeah.
said if they had Derrick Rose instead of George Hill, they would have won game 1.
Yeah,
If
I
Bron
don't
still
think-
does,
no,
if Bron still goes
George
Bron,
Hill is a really good defender.
And
He-
great shooter.
I wouldn't even call him great. He's a good shooter, but I still think overall, like Derrick, there's not a basketball game in the world where Derrick Rose can't help.
yeah, I'll take every game in the world Derrick Rose over George Hill.
Yeah, almost any game. I'm at least gonna be in the same.
It's
scenario.
context.
George, there's not
It's
a
a
game. There's
context
not a
thing
game.
here,
There's not a
guys.
game. There's not a game of basketball
Depends on
that
what I
George
need.
Hill can win me that Derrick Rose can't. If George Hill can win it, Derrick Rose can as well.
It's context, Leek. It's context. Who's on the court with me? What are we looking for? Like, all of that matters.
Bro, Derrick
all
Rose-
of that matters.
Derrick is
And I think
playing
that's
in a
the
six-
only thing that bothers me when we talk. It feels like context goes out the window, and it's just, all right, let me stack this player up and everything I know about him, and let me stack this player up and everything I know about him, and let me just see what happens. Okay, he's technically the better player, but I'm gonna put him out here anyway.
Used
Like,
D-Wade that playoff run as well. D-Wade wouldn't have missed them 2 free throws.
no.
And D-Wade showed
I rock
those
with
last
that.
2 years, that last year and a half in Miami, that at that age, he still showed I could beat D-Wade
But
can
it's
play basketball
context.
right now.
It's context.
Not
And
between
looking-
D-Wade and George Hill, though. We know that.
Not necessarily.
But what
not
Greg
between-
is saying is
but
during the
look
flow
at
of
the way
the game.
LeBron was playing.
Yeah,
look at
during
the
the
way that team actually flowed. Look at the way that team actually.
It would have been
ran
a totally
offense.
different game if you
Totally
take one out.
different
And that's
basketball
why,
game.
yeah, I understand
And
what
so
you're saying
if
like
you're
that.
telling me if LeBron's doing something different as opposed to what we've seen,
Who knows
out
if
of
he
him
has
in
that
his Cleveland
58
stint,
name? Who knows if the game
then
goes that
okay.
way?
I mean, cool, but I mean, we can't just
We can't guarantee that,
assume.
yeah.
You can't just plug a player in and say, give me the same results, the same experience, the same moments, and then that'll happen. Like, it doesn't work that way.
I'll say this another thing too, and I noticed it with Bron. I think even the way that he was playing, mind you, it's something he got used to with being extremely super duper ball dominant. But if he doesn't do it with the Lakers right now, he's gonna eat his words again. But I think he should have began at that point in time, that last year in Cleveland, slightly just to flirt with a couple of possessions here and there of playing off the ball. And
I've
it's
been
not
saying that for 6 years.
and yeah, and it's just something as small as I'm not gonna bring the ball up. I'm gonna let somebody else bring it up. We're gonna get in the horns. I'm gonna catch it at the elbow. We'll play out of there. I might even let my point guard set an off-ball screen for me, maybe a little cross screen. I come across the lane. Now, if they switch it, I got a point guard on me. Or even if they don't switch it, my guy guarding me is held up for a second because somebody sent me a screen. Like, I need to start seeing Bron do that because he's just gonna. We talk about guys wearing out. He's gonna get worn out this year for sure if he thinks he can bring the ball up every possession, initiate the offense, then maybe get it back at the end of the clock and have to do something with 80. He's gonna be dead by the time the playoffs come.
I agree. And there's anything you said in the last 3 pods, I agree with that the most. I definitely looked at when they played the clips, and I was like, yo, he's expending a lot of energy just trying to get this ball to half.
And the thing is, they're
And
gonna
he's
use
never
Pat.
really had to do that every time down. And he's always been like choosy when he brings the ball to the court, when he does what he wants. And normally, sometimes he lets Kyrie or D-Wade, and he'll get it after the ball is already crossed.
Yeah.
And then now he's doing his whole LeBron thing, as opposed to being hounded by a small guard up the court. And that was an issue.
And
Because
for
there was a
those-
one stint I tweeted, I was like, bruh, somebody get Pat Bev off of this man. And then I realized he ain't doing nothing with him anyway. So what's the point? Yeah, he can stay there if he wants to. If he's just gonna like try and throw these awkward lobs to AD all night, like go ahead, by all means, do that.
I think, and this is another
He
reason.
didn't use the advantage at all.
There was another, and that was another reason why I said I felt like Doc out-coached Frank Vogel in that scenario because first couple minutes, yeah, Tamar was there. I was kind of worried, and I'm still worried because when they were just pounding us inside, like
The bigs. The Clippers are gonna die by the big.
yeah.
Yep.
But and the reason though I think we'll be all right because there's really only maybe you can only maybe name 5 teams with bigs that can kill you that have a potential to.
All the teams y'all need to go through, though.
Nah,
All the
2 of the
teams you
teams.
go
2 of
through.
them.
Like,
It's only
you gotta
the
worry about
Nuggets.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
You gotta worry
it's
about.
just the
Yeah,
Nuggets,
but the
and
Nuggets and the
Lakers.
Lakers.
Of
Those the only
Lakers,
two.
Denver, Philly.
nah,
But they're not gonna-
team-
that's-
I don't have to go
yeah.
through that.
But you got to
get
have to
out
beat them
the
to win the
West.
championship.
So that's
maybe.
that's 3.
In my
with
lineup,
bigs.
you do so, yeah.
There's only 3, yeah. About
Yeah,
3
so 3.
teams. Maybe Gobert, but that's on the defensive end.
Yeah,
That's
more
just
so
that.
defensive.
But what I was just saying was when they were killing us inside, I was like, okay, fine. But what that showed was Bron, because he's never been an off-ball movement type of
Might be
guy.
Dallas.
In the event he dumps it down low, there's really gonna be no more off-ball movement from him.
And that's the problem.
And you can
He's not gonna
almost, yeah,
cut. He's not gonna cut.
he's not going to, unless it's wide open for a dunk. But even just to position himself, maybe so he can catch it and make a play, or maybe he could catch it out the double and then make that one more. Like, Bron's not a hockey assist type of guy.
Nope.
He's not. A lot of dudes in the league aren't. But those are the stats that like really show what's winning towards what's just filling up stat sheets. But like, I think because they were just killing them inside, it began to slow everybody down.
I mean, in all honesty, that's going to be the Lakers' best weapon. That's the reason I think they're more built for the playoffs than the regular season anyway.
They are.
Like, when the game slows down, they're going to be able to pound it down inside. The problem is, like you just said, there's no movement on it. It's very old school 90s basketball. It's dumb down to the big end. Everybody stand and watch. That doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, because it's help side now. So now guys are making it a lot tougher when you go to those one-on-ones.
And like I said, that goes back to what I said. Like, in order to get these guys like KCP, granted, we all are joking about them right now, but in order to get these type of guys going,
Are we joking?
Yeah, did you say get
y'all
KCP
know what I mean.
That
going?
man make $8 million a year.
my point is simply, in order to get those type of role players going, Avery Bradley, KCP, Kyle Kuzma when he comes back, in order to get those guys going and feeling comfortable enough to knock down shots routinely, you got to make them feel involved in the offense. If you're just dumping it down or watching LeBron James dribble for 20 seconds, what am I doing out here? My whole job is literally just to guard somebody full court and then just stand over here on the wing and hope y'all pass it to me.
Yep.
I don't know about y'all. I play basketball. It's not fun when you do that for the whole season. Like I said, it's fun when you win and you watch LeBron get 50, but if LeBron ain't getting 50 or AD ain't getting 40, this ain't really that fun because I'm just working and watching. So there needs to be some changes. That's all I'm saying. LeBron's got to make a conscious decision to change. He won't, but hey.
So, Leek, do you have I guess someone that first week you're looking at like they were
not on the Clippers roster.
Not on the Clips. Not on the Clips.
I would say one of the guys that I said was gonna be a player to watch. I think he's been showing up so far. In 2 games, he's had 30 plus, and that's Pascal Siakam.
True.
That first game,
they played outside of themselves.
They definitely did. But I'll say this though.
Made my playoff prediction look good though.
Yeah, I think they're not
as bad as I thought they were gonna be.
Yeah, they're not, and I think that's
OG Anunoby looks good too.
He's looking a lot, and I think that's what it is. I just think everybody is playing a little bit better than what I expected out of all of them. Even all the way from at the top, I did not see Van Vliet going for 34 and 7 night one.
He came back and went like 2 for 11 the next night.
He did, but I'll say this though, I think they'll be able to make it work maybe with him starting. I still think the best bet, I think they would be better off going like Kyle, OG, Pascal, starting Serge and Mark, and then bringing Fred off because I feel like that second unit has not one guy that can give them a bucket off their bench.
Norman Powell?
But like, are we talking like every team? I feel like all elite teams, they have somebody 6-man wise.
Well, I don't think Toronto's an elite team. I think they're just a playoff
But
team.
you still should, they're still in that mindset, at least right now, that they're still competing. And their bench, like I said, Norman Powell is not going to be that type of guy that can fill it up for you off the bench.
I think they're doing exactly what I assumed they would do. And they're setting up the young guys to be the next ones. Yep. They're setting up Van Vliet to be the next guy. They're setting up. That's why he's starting. Yeah. That's why he's starting. They gave Kyle Lowry that bag as a send-off. We love you. We appreciate you.
But that send-off isn't until next year, though. Yes, this year.
I think this
send-off bag.
This is the wait and bake year. Like, we're gonna find out how good Pascal is this year.
We're gonna find out how good Fred is. We're gonna see where OG's at. Norman Powell isn't old, but he'll still be around. We're gonna see where all these guys are, and these older guys, we're just gonna kind of phase them out slowly but surely.
They paid him so he could walk. It's like, we don't want to trade you. We don't want people to look at it like we don't take care of our stars who have helped us win chips.
Right.
Because mind you, Toronto, they're not going to get a lot of free agency. Maybe I heard there was talks about them being in the race for Giannis if he decides to leave. But for the most part, nobody's going to be coming out of the U.S. and want to go play in Canada. That's the big issue that a lot of pro hoopers talk about that have played in Canada. I think Lou Will had spoke about it publicly once.
Yeah.
A lot of players talk about when they get drafted to Canada, they don't even have like passports.
That talk goes as far as back as Vince Carter. Carter said he had issues.
You got to switch. You got to get a bank account there and stuff like that. Your family can't just come and see you. So
it's an issue. It's a process.
It's gonna be hard. So when you have somebody who helped you win a chip, you're gonna take care of them because you don't want it to look like, hey, he just helped us win a chip, but for the betterment of our basketball team, we shipped him out. So would the smart thing to be to ship Kyle as soon as possible, even before you gave him a bag? Yes. Can't do that though, because you gotta show that you take care of your people.
Right. So I think that's essentially that's why Fred's starting, and that's why he played more minutes than Kyle, even though he was playing worse. He played 42 minutes.
It's like we're definitely keeping Fred. Kyle, we want you to walk so we don't have to get rid of you.
Right. And I think they're not that deep. Like they're good, but they're not deep at all. So
they only played 9 guys so far.
Because they're a team they're like one Kawhi away from winning a chip.
Yeah, they're a superstar away.
Huh? The Raptors?
Yeah.
Kawhi away.
They're a superstar away.
They're one superstar. And speaking of people who are superstars away, the Nets are just one KD away from a chip. Oh, wait, they got him next year. And I'm going to speak really highly of somebody who I've spoken about on the pod for like every other pod. Almost as much as y'all talked about Draymond. My boy 50 ball. They came with a loss, whatever. Who cares?
whatever.
Kyrie Irving.
Isn't that the only stat that matters?
A win? It ain't the only, but it's the most important.
Supposed to
He
be.
did lose. But then what he do the next game? Hit the game winner. And the only concerning thing about me is like they played the Timberwolves and then they played the Knicks. Kyrie shouldn't have to hit game winners on these teams.
No,
They shouldn't.
Karras look good. Spencer gonna have to get in the flow of things. DeAndre's looking lost half the time. I think Jared Allen is still going to be a really key piece. I think he's better than DeAndre. He should definitely receive more minutes, which he has been these first 2 games.
From what I've seen,
more.
Way more. It
Jared
looks like
Allen's been
Like
playing.
Jared Allen averaging 32 minutes, DeAndre's averaging 20.
Exactly.
It's a big difference.
Because Jared can actually hoop within the flow of their offense and on their defense. No disrespect to DeAndre. I didn't mean it.
No, but
the
that
one
was.
time I didn't want to diss somebody, it just comes off wrong. But back to the man of the hour, Kyrie Irving is looking like he can be transcendent as a leader to the point where he could. It's not. We're not going to question his leadership styles. If the season ended right now after 2 games, it looks like he was a decent leader.
Do you hear what you just said?
It's a way too early predictions. It's a way too early predictions.
All right.
Way too early
He just
podcast.
said
Way too early
the season
podcast.
ended after 2
Right now,
games.
Kyrie's the best leader in the NBA. Kawhi's probably winning the chip. If this is the way too early predictions. But no, I've liked everything we've seen from Kyrie. I'm pretty sure everybody in here can attest that he's had the first 2 amazing games.
He looks like Kyrie. He looks like the best ball handler, one of the best shot creators of all time.
Nah, it's a different kind of air to him. The way
looks
he's doing
happy
it.
right
He looks
now.
happy. He looks happy.
I'll give you that. Let's give it 40 games.
He's home now.
Let's give it 40 games.
His dad gets to see him whenever.
All right. Like I said, we're going to see 40 games in if they still battling around 500.
They probably are. But in the
We're
East,
gonna see how
500 can
happy
get you
we
a
are.
6 seed. They probably will be battling 500.
All right.
They're 1 KD away from a chip.
We'll see.
That's the only thing I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if they're 1 KD.
They got to tweak some stuff. Like DeAndre, I don't know, bro. He might
I
have to.
don't think
He might have to take whatever DeAndre Ayton is. They got to link up the DeAndres and both of them take the pill because DeAndre needs
No,
something.
we can't make jokes about that because Aiden's actually out for what?
25.
25
games. It's so
24
sick.
now. They played last
It's so
night.
sick.
20. He's out
It's
for
so sick.
24.
They said,
For a diuretic.
Oh, the Suns winning games now?
Test.
Real talk. Ricky Rubio was making them look good. Like,
A little too good.
Yeah, we was like, wait a minute.
I was like,
minute.
whoa.
David Stern probably made the call.
Gotta be.
They were like, I thought you were retired.
Gotta be drugs. Got to.
Test them.
Which I don't know,
that's
man. Aiden says it was something that
He said
he
it was
didn't know what it
accidental
was,
ingestion, which
accident, and for the
could be
most
true.
part, it very well could be because a lot of times the players don't know exactly what they're taking. It's really up to their trainers and the medical staff or their personal medical staff to make sure that what they're taking is clean, is not on that ban list. So I think that's kind of unfortunate because they will look all right. They look
it was cute.
like they could play basketball, and I was like,
they look like
You know
a
what?
decent NBA team.
I'm gonna go with another conspiracy. Suns realized how good they look too, and they were like, how can we tank
One more year.
without everybody looking at us like, oh, this is clearly tanking?
you think Phoenix slipped or something?
Phoenix
Hey,
medical
we're going.
staff.
Yo.
This is the end
Phoenix.
of the pod.
No, that's it.
The,
Phoenix.
hey,
Y'all
the-
get
hey, no,
understand.
listen. Phoenix
Y'all
medical
got the NBA
staff.
calling up
No,
for
I'm getting
real.
this, bro.
First
Phoenix,
YouTube one,
Phoenix
you wanna go
medical
like that?
staff gave him that pill, and like, mind you, he's gonna trust the team medical staff.
Oh
Boom,
my God.
to get him
You
suspended,
This is
so they can tank.
what's the football?
The views
what's
and
the whole football
opinions
game?
from
Tanktacular.
From
I'm trying
Arcast.
to tell you.
What's the football game? NFL Blitz, a storyline.
NFL
Remember,
Blitz.
he had the football.
they slipped him something?
They slipped him something, so he passed Jordan. You gotta play the games in jail.
That's sick, bro.
Hey, I see you, sons. I see
That's
you.
crazy.
You're not smart enough for me though.
We're not going with that.
All right, so we gonna get out of here. Games to watch, games to look forward to. We didn't really talk about Philly, but
It look like Philly.
they look like Philly, and that's kind of disappointing because that offense still looks.
Celtics
Only
still
one
look
game. Only one
underwhelming.
game.
Hey, yo, real quick, Celtics look underwhelming. I'm just saying, less of the blame now goes on Kyrie. Still some blame on Kyrie, just a little
Celtics look
less.
fine to me.
Kimba didn't look good.
Yeah.
That first
He
game,
bounced
Kimba
back the
didn't
second
look
game
good.
though.
Yeah, he had a decent second game.
Like, in matter of fact, he struggled early in the game. Then he pretty much won him the fourth quarter. By himself.
I think Kimba, like, it's gonna take Kimba a little bit of time, but I mean he's on what, a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
he's fine.
Yeah, he got
He's
some
gonna be
good
good.
time. They
He
got
just
time.
locked up Jalen Brown, Gordon. Like, we will see, I think, the best of Boston next year.
I did make a statement. I was just watching that game, and I was like, Jason Tatum might get traded.
Nah, I feel like
Like-
DNA's just love him.
Tatum might get traded.
He was hooping though.
He was hooping, but at the same time, I was looking at it, I was like,
He might get.
they just gave Brown this bag, but Brown's not living up to it right so far. I mean, he had a weak first game out. And like you said, it's early
I mean,
predictions,
did y'all
so we
not
don't
watch him last night? Because they all looked pretty good last night.
What
Brown looked good.
Yeah,
Brown had that.
Something.
Brown had 20-something, but then no, I'm talking about the first game.
I'm
The
talking about the
first
second
game, he went like
Yeah,
I
the
don't
first
know,
game
like-
he underperformed.
Yeah, like 8.
like 8 points,
Yeah.
20-some minutes.
Yeah, he was like 2
Like,
for 9 or something
Yeah,
like
he was
that.
rough, and that was the game I watched. I didn't watch the game last night, and I was like, man, Tatum might get flipped because you really can't flip Gordon.
Yeah, you can't flip Gordon.
He's too
You can't.
expensive.
Yeah.
No.
And so I was like, man, if they really want to round out this roster, they might flip Tatum.
Like I said, I watched them last night. And granted, last night they still really weren't that good offensively. Like, they still didn't really hit shots they were supposed to. But
Mhm.
they showed what they can be, especially that starting lineup with Tatum, Hayward, Brown. Like, they're a switch everything lineup. They play really aggressive on defense. They got up and down the floor well. They moved it really well.
I like Tice.
Tice.
I always liked him
him
from last year. I liked him a lot.
Okay.
I
For
like
that spot.
Tice
And he'll
for
stretch
that.
the floor
Like,
at times too.
So, like I said, right now they got this weird big man lineup rotation. They got Tice, Grant Williams, and then Robert Williams. And they're kind of rotating those three in and out. Marcus Smart has played some 5 this year. So when I said it, y'all looked at me like I was crazy. Don't look at me like that no more. Told y'all that was going to happen. But anyway.
Just
That
because
doesn't
you
mean it's
said
a
it's
good
gonna happen doesn't
idea.
mean it's a
Yeah.
good idea.
I didn't
Yeah,
say it was a good
what?
idea. I just said it was going to happen. Y'all like, there's no way that's going to happen. It happened. Anyway, moving on.
Man.
But no, I like what I've seen from them, though. They play really hard. They play well together. Like I said, I think it's going to take some fine-tuning. I still agree they're one piece away. Who they're going to move to make that piece happen, who knows? Like, it could be
Steven
Brown.
Adams.
honestly, you
Get
can't
Steven
you can't read Danny Ainge's mind.
Exactly. It could be
And-
Brown, Tatum, who knows?
It might be all of them.
Who knows? He go with Kimba Gordon and
Yeah.
trade for a superstar.
He's had 2 times. He's had an opportunity to trade for Kawhi and AD and said no.
Yeah.
Let's take.
And that's
Kemba.
what someone had replied to me. He said he had a chance to trade for Kawhi and AD, and he didn't want to do it. He's in love with Tatum, and he made. Shout out to my boy Greg. His name is actually Greg. He's from Cali.
Thought this man was
I was about,
speaking in
I was about to be like,
third
did you
person.
just refer to yourself in the third person? Hold up.
No.
I was gonna put that in my bag.
Shout out to my boy Greg Allen. He lives out in Cali. I think he's a Warriors fan. But he has said to me, he said there's absolutely no way Danny Ainge will ever trade Tatum, and the odds are more likely that Danny Ainge gets fired before Tatum ever
Yeah.
gets traded.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting. 'Cause he ain't
That's
getting
unlikely.
fired.
Yeah, that's unlikely
ain't
odds.
getting fired.
Yeah, Jason Tatum gonna die Celtic.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get out of here, man. Games to look forward to.
Utah playing the Clips next week on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm going through a couple of others right now. Tomorrow, Sunday, really nothing. Going into the beginning of the week on Monday. We got the Pelicans and Golden State.
San Antonio, Portland could be interesting.
Let me see here.
Denver versus Dallas on Tuesday.
I like that
That
one.
could be a good one.
That'd be fun to watch.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that's a
I-
nice
I-
Tuesday game.
KP versus Jokic.
You got Boston versus Milwaukee next Wednesday. You got Giannis going
Giannis
in.
gonna fry them.
Yeah. I think that game is going to be what shows it actually wasn't as much.
Yeah,
Kyrie's
it wasn't
fault as we
Kyrie.
think.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all guys.
Because if he goes bananas, which I'm sure, I'm smelling a 43 ball.
So hold up. So Giannis getting 40.
43 ball. No,
Why you
43,
say
not
40?
40. 43.
Just, I
So if
don't know.
Giannis gets 43, that somehow shows that it wasn't
It's-
Kyrie
No. It just shows
who
it
played
wasn't-
horribly in that
He
series.
played terribly, but I think just to encompass the entire Celtics season, I think it'll show that
It wasn't just Kyrie.
It wasn't just him.
Wait, nobody said
He
that.
deserves
Nah,
a
a lot
fair
of-
minimum share of the blame.
Yeah, everybody has to split that blame. How many
And
ever?
he deserves his
So
fair minimum share.
Giannis being Giannis just
It just shows that team was gonna come to, like, that team was not gonna win a championship, and that team was not gonna beat Milwaukee under the conditions they were under last
Regardless,
year.
fair
And
minimum
people,
blame.
And people try to
I don't
make
see
it
how that
seem-
adds up. Okay, we're out of here though. We gotta go. I don't see how that adds up.
Hey,
We'll talk
Clips
about
the
that
future
next week.
reigning defending champions.
When stuff don't add up, you got to start subtracting.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get out of here, man. Brian, where can we find you, homie?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at only1beachum. I'm easy to find because I'm the only one out there.
Leek, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and IG at Coach Leek. That's KoachLeek.
And you can find me on Instagram at OneGreggy, on Twitter at Greggy Chillin'. You can find the pod on Instagram at HoopsMinorPod, and our Twitter is at A Minor in Hoops. We appreciate everyone who's watched on our first inaugural debut episode here on YouTube. You can still find us on all your Spotify, Apple streaming sites, whatever. Appreciate everyone listening. Appreciate everyone watching. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, share. But be sure to comment below. TK, take us home.
Hey, real quick, you can follow me at King Comments of Mine on Twitter and Instagram. Be a little cautious about my Twitter. Shout out our man on the mix, Dunkman Keith. You can follow him right there, Dunkman Keith. Twitter, Instagram, Gmail, anything that you can name. And I want to give a super special shout out to all the street pharmacists out there that hang around, the basketball courts outside, and they always got that same walk and say, "Let me get a shot, young fella." And it always goes off the same side of the rim for some reason. All y'all jump shots are broke. Like, what? Do something else.
Hey, as I always say, eat, sleep, breathe the game. We love y'all. We out.
Peace.
Man, let me tell y'all, bro.